We be live.
We'll be live.
Hey everyone. Hello people. Like me this.
Oh, I just remembered you were brought up as well in the debate.
Oh what? Oh wait, we have to tell people what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
we'll
I
talk
was brought
about it.
up
We'll
in a
talk
debate.
about it. Yeah,
Oh my god! Now I have to watch it. I was gonna watch it. I was on my list.
for a little bit, but I didn't defend you or anything because obviously I had to focus
You
on my
didn't?
ideas. But no, but no, it wasn't. I didn't attack you either. He went afterwards. Yeah, but again, the same degeneracy argument, and he was like,
Wait,
oh,
you're
he
talking
quoted you.
about? Wait. Yeah, tell people what you're talking about. You're talking. You
Yeah.
just had a debate with
Oh
who?
yeah. So then we're starting with that. Okay, so I had a conversation. I wanted to have a conversation, but I knew that it would get heated at some point. But I didn't expect it to go the way it did. I spoke with Javad Hashmi, who is a physician. He's a doctor. He's a physician, but he's also a PhD candidate for Islamic studies or something at Harvard. And he invited me a couple of years ago to come to Harvard at at Harvard itself and have a conversation and have a debate with him there. And but obviously then COVID happened, and then so many things happened, and these things it just never materialized. So eventually we got around to it, and we said, okay, let's just have a chat. But he came in very hostile. And he came well prepared. He had the opening statement and the closing statement, and if you listen to it, both the opening and closing statements are the same. So which means which is something I never want to do, and I didn't do in this case either, because I just went in, have a conversation, free flowing conversation, minus a moderator. I insisted that there's going to be no moderator because I do have a record of being able to communicate with people without moderators, people from the opposing worldview. For example, I've spoken with I've spoken with Hamza Ali Abbasi, famous Pakistani actor. I've spoken with Mufti Uthman Farooq, the guy who apparently got stabbed, but then now people are saying he never did. Whatever. Like I have now that conversation was in Urdu as well. Now that guy was very hostile as well, but we kept the decorum. We it was fine. It was a good conversation. There was it didn't turn into a shit show like this one did. I've spoken with so many other people as well, and Mufti Abu Layth, obviously, without a moderator. So that's what I thought. I thought, okay, but this guy is supposedly an academic. He's not like Ali Dab or Muhammad Jab, who would try to be idiots basically. But man, I was wrong. I was so wrong. So he was quoting me. First half an hour was about the foreword that was written by Ali Rizvi for my book. The main argument that Ali Rizvi presented in that Enlightenment period led to the Western liberal democracies that we enjoy today, which, by the way, Javad himself is a fan of. But then he started saying, well, Ali Rizvi has quoted Thomas Jefferson and Voltaire, and these guys were apparently Christians. Jefferson wasn't; he was a deist. But anyway, he was just quoting some facts where these guys showed some sympathy towards Christianity. So I was like, that's not the point. I said it multiple times. I think I even said it. I said, okay, for the fifth time, it doesn't matter what these people, what the beliefs of these people, what these guys believed in privately.
Don't give out the whole debate so people go watch it. Just give us your overall take on it.
Obviously, there are more nuances as well, so they can go and watch it. But I'm just saying that the argument was made that whatever these guys did, however they contributed towards the Enlightenment period, it ended up with the Western liberal democracies that we enjoy. And so his argument was that no, you can attain these liberal democracies even if you believe in religions. So I said, well,
but you can. I agree.
Yeah, well, I said, be that as it may, but we're talking about. So he was arguing. He was saying that we're saying that, but not with the classical interpretation of Islam. No, yeah, it's more, because not with the classical interpretation of Islam. So his interpretation, and this is what I said. I said, look, I don't see you as a threat, because if you're working as a modern, with your interpretation of Islam, and you're also working towards a liberal democracy, then I have no problem with you. But
I disagree with you.
Okay, sure. How do you? Yeah.
I see the liberal modern interpretation of Islam, this whole movement, okay, I see that more destructive and more dangerous than Wahhabis and Salafis.
Yeah, but someone like him who says that I want the Muslim world turn into like these liberal democracies we have in the West. Yeah,
Muslim world. I agree. No. Here's what you have to differentiate in these debates. I want the Muslim world to become like that as well. I just don't want Islam, the Muslim world versus Islam. Okay, the Muslim world can be liberalized. The Muslim world can be modernize. Okay, Muslims can liberalize. Muslims can reform. Muslims can modernize. All of that is possible. It's just Islam cannot liberalize. Islam cannot modernize. Islam is the one that should not. Islam can reform. Islam is the one that should not be reformed because Islam reformed is more dangerous. It's actually destructive.
But that's not the argument for me. But anyway, you guys go watch it.
I would have a debate with him. I think I would.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. No? I'm done with this guy. So there's so many other points. For example, he picked on what I wrote in my book that a Christian church, the Catholic Church, held science and scientists hostage. Or treated them as their own asset, and obviously Giordano Bruno being an example, being burnt at stake. So a lot of these people say that Bruno was not burnt at stake because of his science, but because of his philosophy and theology. Now, the argument is that his theology and philosophy actually changed, which was considered heretical, because of his science. His science was that there are multiple worlds out there. Like he saw every star is a sun, and innumerable world
are you going to go over every single point of this debate? Because
no, we're not going to go every single. So I'm just discussing some major points. So I said what that led to his philosophy and theology, which was considered heretical by the church, and hence he was burnt. Again, he was saying that's not the case. He was just targeted for his philosophy and blah blah blah. So anyway, I think all his points were refuted, but then when you go back and forth, minus a moderator, it can turn ugly, and I think that's what. And then by the end, he just called me, "Oh, you're a bigot," and and then he apologized. Oh. So when it turned into a shouting match, then he apologized because I called him an idiot. Then I said, well, you know what, he's just like any other cleric. He's just a more. I mean, I was showing a lot of patience. Anyone who knows me, I mean, even you and I, we get, we get really passionate. But anyway, because you and I.
How was that mentioned? Was brought up?
Oh yeah, so he was talking about someone like you, Harris, who's a decent-looking guy or whatever. You want to take advantage of, have multiple sexual relationships, and then he turned into a Kikachu. He went into the fertility rate argument.
Wait, I was brought up when you discussed your sexual partners. Wait, I think he's misunderstanding the nature of our relationship, Harris. Did you explain to him that we're not?
No, that's not what I was saying. He was saying that it's again he shot himself in the foot, and this is where I made a joke out of it, out of his argument. I said Hinduism and Christianity can make an argument for monogamy, not you as a Muslim, because Islam encourages polygamy. He said no, Islam discourages polygamy. I said, well, no, that's your way of saying it. And then he quoted, oh, well, most Muslims are not polygamous. I said, that's purely because there are not enough women to go around. Most Muslims would be monogamous because there's just not enough women to go around. So anyway, he talked about you and defending polyamory, for example. I think he was just going for that. I was like, well, I'm for monogamy, but not lifelong monogamy. I'm for one relationship at a time, and then divorce is not necessarily the worst thing in the world.
I'm okay with anything you guys come up with. Yeah. So it's fine. It's fine for men to have I'm okay with a lifetime relationship of one man and multiple women as long as we could do it the other way around, like a lifelong long-term relationship of one woman with multiple husbands. If that is allowed, then one husband and multiple wives should be also allowed. I think it's fine. You can come up with whatever arrangement. I think you could go with whatever arrangement you want. Any arrangement you want, it should be allowed. That's what I think.
He got caught out on a couple of things. He tried to teach me philosophy, but then I asked him, "Can you tell me Aquinas?" I actually, because we were going back and forth, I actually called it ensembles for cosmological arguments, but actually I know that because later on I did say the right thing. I said, "Well, can you quote Aquinas for cosmological arguments?" He was like, "I'm not here for a pop quiz." I was like, "Well, you're just teaching me about infinite regress and the necessary being, but you don't even know the four cosmological arguments, and the fifth argument being the teleological argument of Aquinas." And then he goes, Khalil and Dani. There are a couple of funny moments in that, like facepalm moments, which is very embarrassing for a Harvard professor wannabe. So it's pretty bad. But and then he started throwing his credentials. It's like, "Oh, how many degrees you have?"
Okay, this is. I need to watch this. I really need to watch.
I do want to say I was being very humble. But
that doesn't sound like you, but okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you. I was holding back my punches. Like I can be a really, I can be a very obnoxious prick. But let me say that. But now I'm going to say that because this is a safe space.
Is it?
I genuinely believe all the major changes are brought to the world by activists. Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King. These guys were not academics. These guys were activists. When you look
many of the major changes,
many, well, almost all of them, I would say. Academics. How many academics do you see turn into presidents and prime ministers? How many? They don't.
But many scientists have also made major changes in the world.
Yeah, they have, but not.
Also,
of course. No. That they are behind the engine of our civilization. Absolutely, I'm talking about the actual changes active changes that are brought into society, like social changes, for example. Politicians.
I don't know, like Einstein figuring out E is equal MC squared, like changed the whole.
Yeah, but
world.
Look at its application. It was all done by politicians.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to. It's kind of like asking whether a car going forward is more because of its engine or because of its wheel. I mean, technically, it can't go forward with either.
You could argue
it's hard to measure which one is more because it's like it's not possible with either one of them, right?
There's a common brag a lot of physicists make. Physicists say that physicists say we invented, cars and we rockets and internet and all of that. Us physicists did it, but then obviously other scientists of other fields actually disagree.
I mean, they have earned bragging. They have bragging rights.
Yeah. But I was talking about social issues. Yeah. So, for example, something that I'm striving for. This is something. Khomeini himself was an activist as well. Now, I don't like him, but Khomeini was kind of a political activist as well, right? Imran Khan is a political activist. All these politicians, these guys are activists. How many climatologists people know of? Not many, but Greta Thunberg is the one who's actually driving, or for whatever reason, So I'm just saying, activists bring a lot of change. So, the next time when you talk down an activist, you can do that all you want. But for example, I have thousands.
Fame is. Some might argue back that fame is not really a good measure of influence. Of
popularizing ideas, but popularizing ideas and inspiring people. Andrew Tate himself.
I'm not saying I'm not dissing activists. Obviously, I'm not. I'm an activist, right? But I'm just saying, like, we can't. It's not a competition. It shouldn't be a competition.
No, I know that. You're missing my point. I'm saying that he started bragging about his multiple degrees. I've only got one undergrad degree. That's in IT, and that I've only got. But he was basically trying to diss me by saying, "Hey, I'm an academic friend. I'm an academic friend." So I was like, "Okay, fine."
Ooh,
Yeah, but he kept doing it. But he did not be. I've spoken with academics, like the dinosaur lady. I've spoken with Peter Boghossian, philosopher. He's an academic. I've spoken with multiple academics, but he did not behave like an academic. At the end of the day, deep down inside, this is my conclusion. Once your mind has been captivated by religion, there's no way out. And then it turned ugly after the debate on Twitter, and I said, "Well, you are just a typical Molvi." I have found more wisdom in a 10th grader from a village in Pakistan, because I regularly speak with people from Pakistan and they call in and they ask questions, they debate and argue with me. But I've found more wisdom in some people. But I guess he's an academic himself, so he probably would never back down anyway. So that's how. Anyway, so just go and watch the debate. It is a bit painful at times, because some other academics who actually do follow me, they have written to me as well, and they've said that, like, it was painful to listen to. I was really looking forward to it, but I just couldn't. They just couldn't follow because there were too many interruptions. They said from both sides, fair enough. I'm willing to take that on board. I did mute myself multiple times so I don't butt in, but he didn't do it. He only did it once, and that was a good monologue from me. But anyway,
we should move on because we're in 15 minutes. Okay, so yeah, go watch this on Harris Sultan's channel.
By the way, this gentleman here, he's an academic himself, and luckily, I can proudly say he's one of the academics who actually changed the outlook on Islam because of me. He used to listen to me, used to follow me. He read my book, and he is a professor at a university in England. And then he became an ex-Muslim after reading my book and watching my video. And obviously, it's not that. That's not all. I always say that, of course, along the way, you would have been influenced by other people as well. So that means nothing. So I mean, I do respect academics. But what Arabic translated means is saying that academic doesn't necessarily mean you're right, because there's so many other academics who are on the other side of theology of Javad Hashmi. So he said, my friend Khalil Andani wrote an 800-page dissertation saying what kitab actually means. So I said, what a waste of time, 800-page dissertation to say what kitab means. I said, you know what?
That's how academic paper works.
Yeah, but that's bad.
It's not really a waste of time, because
to prove that when Allah says that this is a final book for everyone, he said the Arabic word is kitab. He said, well, kitab doesn't mean how traditional scholarship understood it to be. I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to go with the classical interpretation of Islam, okay? And then another problem these people have, these modernists.
Okay, Harris, we really need to move on. We've been talking about this for 17 minutes. Okay. So this is you could speak about this as well now, because I have no idea what this question is about. D is asking. Oh, by the way, guys, if you want to ask your Patreon questions, consider becoming a patron on Secular Jihadists. However, other than that, also become a patron on Harris's channel, YouTube Patreon as well. And you could also become a member on Secular Jihadists. And if you become a member of Secular Jihadists, we'll bring you up at the end of the show if you're interested to come and talk to us live on air. But anyways, here's the first Patreon question from D. D is saying, I don't even know how to read this, so I'm not even going to try. So you go ahead and read that. Harris? Yeah.
So it says, I got distracted by this, by a comment. I'm going to read that. D is saying, I'm really digging Pranav Radhakrishnan's work. Harris, how prevalent is Ayurveda nonsense in Pakistan? By the way, Pranav is an Indian rationalist. Wonderful, wonderful guy. We did invite him once on Sunday Scoop, my previous show with Nuria. And he did this the detailed debunking of Sadhguru. So he runs a YouTube channel called Google go to YouTube if you're searching for his channel is called Science is Dope. So if you bring that up, that'd be amazing.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have something to say. It might be like, I think I can't understand him because I have a hard time understanding the accent. I'm not trying to be like, I'm really trying to be better at understanding the accent, but I think this is such a good channel, but I just don't know why I have a hard time understanding it.
No, I don't know, man. I don't have any hard time, and I think a lot of people don't.
I know
have
you
hard time
don't.
Understanding
of
it.
Course you don't, because really you don't have a hard time. You don't say.
No. But hang on, but there are different types of Indian accents as well. He's from South. He doesn't speak Hindi or Urdu.
Is that the one guy? I know.
So yeah. So anyway, so he is a breath of fresh air, and he makes these videos where he debunks things like Ayurveda, Sadhguru, all this pseudoscience that these populist Indian YouTubers are propagating, like, oh, 10,000 years ago we invented this, we invented Vimana, these flying buildings and flying airplanes, or flying saucers and all that. So he disses them. No, I think if you look up, I don't know, he had a separate channel as well. I think, can you just look up Sciences Dog?
That's his channel.
Yeah, no, don't put Pranav, just put Sciences Dog. Yeah, that one. He's got 104,000 subscribers now. So this is his main channel. So one of the latest videos is Go Videos. Look at that one. Did ancient Indians actually fly? This is a hilarious video. So the guy, the guy in the thumbnail, the guy on the right, he's a populist Indian YouTuber. He just goes on with these claims that, oh, we had some advanced knowledge. We were this. You go into this conspiracy bullshit. So anyway, so he debunks them in such a wonderful manner. I love this guy. So now, to answer your question,
do you think I was dissing him when I said I don't understand?
No.
Oh, okay, I wasn't doing that.
I didn't say that.
I'm really trying to be better at understanding.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you can put subtitles on. Put CC.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Put subtitles on as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, there we go. That solves everything.
There you go. Problem solved. So all these YouTubers, look at this: 3.34 million, 4 million, 1.6 million, 1 million subscribers. All these guys, they propagate this populist narrative, which is just really, really infecting the Indian masses. Is putting this misplaced pride in their ancestors, as they like to say, like, oh, our ancestors were amazing, blah blah blah. So he's doing wonderful work. I have nothing but love and respect for him. He's a wonderful guy. Now to answer,
look at this. We have some haters in the live chat.
Yeah, pro Congress. Yeah. So obviously, Aditi. Yeah, Aditi. If this is your, there's another comment as well by Aditi. This one: Indian Americans Indian American is the richest race in the USA. What do you say about that?
Okay, Aditi is a race supremacist, apparently.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my God, we have a racist. No. We have a racist in the live chat. Everyone, he points out the racist. Boo!
All these guys, and it doesn't surprise me that she hates him, because Aditi probably has this misplaced pride in the success of some other people, especially if they are of Indian origin. So if Indian Americans are the richest in the American academia, then so be it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, what is there to say about it? Like, it's brilliant. I think when it comes to household incomes, I think Pakistanis are the fourth highest earning by ethnicity in families in America. Now, that doesn't make me proud or ashamed of America. It's like, okay, well done. If they go, then they achieve amazing things. So that's good. So going back to Dee's question about how prevalent is Ayurveda in Pakistan, next to nothing. I mean, Pakistani is obviously, Ayurveda is an Indian dogma. It's those of you who don't know, Ayurveda is the Indian traditional medicine, kind of like Chinese traditional medicine. You've got African traditional medicine, etc. So they always fail double-blind tests. And this is a golden quote from Richard Dawkins that I always quote. He says that, what happens with medicine, alternative medicine that work, they become mainstream medicine. And how that happens, if they pass the double-blind test, if the tests are reproducible, demonstratable, replicatable, then this is it. They work. But
wait, okay, we need to give some of these answers a little bit shorter, because we need to do other comments as well. Okay. So Mojo is saying, Armin, that is not racist. If you say that their system, how they work achieves it, I don't know what that means, but I think you're saying that it's more their achievements is not because of their ethnicity, it's because of socioeconomic conditions, which I agree with you. That probably explains why. But if you read the comment that I highlighted, it kind of suggests that they were bragging about their ethnicity, not because of the socioeconomic conditions. Usually when people like, how is it that these races are so much successful? They're not bragging about socioeconomic conditions. They're bragging about their ethnicity, and they are race essentializing those accomplishments. And that's why it's usually because of racism. Okay. But yeah, anyways. We should yeah, so I think we answered this question by D. But what did we even address it? How prevalent? No, we didn't.
I
How
did.
prevalent is it? Oh,
I did. You
is it
weren't
very
listening.
prevalent? No, I was
No,
like,
it's not
how is
prevalent.
it like?
No,
It's not okay.
I've said already. No, it's not prevalent.
Mm.
It's because obviously Pakistan after 1947 they wanted to get rid of the Indian roots or whatnot. Ayurveda is
But the chat. Mhm.
no,
Go on.
it's connected to Indianness, and Pakistan's Indianness was erased. So, so for example, anything that glorifies past Indian achievements that is not
Mm.
glorified in Pakistan, for example.
Okay, but don't we have some Pakistanis, like, don't we have some people there that are more interested in their ancient heritage more than their Pakistani identity?
No, they don't. That's one of the biggest problems. This is one of the biggest, um, you know, complaints that Indians have. They said, "Oh, Pakistanis are not willing to embrace their Indian heritage."
And,
Yeah.
well, it's not Indian, anyways. Indian is a new concept. But overall, is there a trend, like even a small upward trend towards
There might
that?
be a small heritage. They're more likely to believe in Indian magic than Ayurveda, for example, which is Indian alternative medicine.
Interesting.
Even
all
the
right.
Indian food, even Indian and Pakistani food they're very similar. Obviously, India is huge, but they don't like to admit that this is Indian food. They call it Pakistani food, which is.
Oh my god, that's amazing. What about you personally, Harris?
Well, I've said it numerous times. I don't care about it. I'm a cultural abolitionist. I don't even care. I don't care. I don't.
Do you
care.
even feel a tiny bit of like
pride?
You know, not pride,
My
like pleasure.
No.
Pleasure? No, nothing.
No, I'm a globalist. I'm a true globalist. I just don't care.
Do you sense? Okay, how about do you feel a small sense of pleasure from Greek mythology?
No, I'm more interested in Roman history, but not Greek mythology. No, I see mythology, but now in this new India, like all these Indian populists who are like, oh, our ancestors were the greatest. So my friend called them Indians have this civilizational dogma. So like, and you probably have heard it a lot of times from Indians, like, hey, Iranians should go back to their Persian roots. It's like this obsession of going back to because obviously we share only one thing, and that is our hatred for Islam. But then they say, you should skip that. Egyptians should go back to their ancient Egyptian roots. Persians should go back to their ancient Persian roots and skip all Islam altogether, just like we are going back to our ancient Indian roots. I just don't like it.
I just wonder if me and you have had shown, because like I grew up in an environment where people are like so proud of Persian heritage, and maybe you're the same. I wonder if we because I want to not overcorrect for that, okay? Because there is some really beautiful ancient Indian mythology and ancient Persian mythology, and I was wondering maybe like we have forced ourselves not to enjoy that because of how disgusted we are about how overdone people overdid this, and maybe we are overreacting and we're not even seeing any form, like we're not making some attempt to see some beauty in it. Like there is beauty in ancient Indian mythology. Like do you recognize that? Yeah.
Beauty is very subjective. Like, sure. If we look at those mythological stories, sure, I can recognize that. I've got no problem with that. But as long as you recognize that these are just myths. But when I look at it in today's Indian context, I look at it how people become dogmatic towards it, protective over it, and and then they turn it into something that it's not. They turn it into they start believing it's reality, and then they, like this whole concept of Hindu Rashtra. It's like they're quoting Mahabharata and all of these things, so which are all mythological stories. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I have developed contempt towards all this whole obsession of like our ancestors did this and that. I'm like, why do you stop? Why do these people stop? No, but why do these people stop at their ancestors of 3,000 or 4,000 years ago? Why don't they go further back? Why don't they go
Right.
back to Africa? Why don't we go back to, you know, like when we were hanging by the trees? Why not?
I'm saying, like, if it's because your ancestors, because, like, oh, my ancestors, yeah, that's absolute nonsense. Okay, I'm
Yeah, that's
saying,
what it
like,
is.
yeah, but I'm saying, like, I could find joy and beauty in it, uh, just from the myth, not because my, like, in the same way that not because my ancestors, these myths came from my ancestors. I don't give a crap about my ancestors. Just is because it's just part of history. Like, I enjoy. I can learn to enjoy. I haven't really, but I can start learning to enjoy Persian mythology the same way I enjoy. I don't know, Greek mythology or Roman mythology, because
Yeah,
they're,
but you're
like,
enjoying that from but you're
yeah,
enjoying it like
yeah. I know. I'm not
yeah.
disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then there comes this misplaced pride. For example, now Matthew is
yeah.
saying
No, pride.
ancient Hindus built amazing temples. It's okay that they're proud of that. Fine, look, it's okay they're proud of
No,
that, but we
no, no,
know
no,
it
no.
never stops there. But I don't. But I am not proud. For example, the Indus
Wait, it's not
civilization.
okay.
No,
It's
no,
not
listen,
okay
listen,
to be proud of
listen,
it. It's
listen.
okay.
Let me,
Yeah.
yeah, let me finish my point. I mean, I'm saying if you want to be proud of it, fine, go whatever. But I am not proud of that because first of all, I have nothing to do with. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't do anything. I mean, these guys were also giving human sacrifices. These guys also invented untouchability. So why would you be proud of that? The Indus civilization is along the Indus River, which is in current Pakistan, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Texla, all these ancient civilizations. The actual ancient Indian civilization kind of originated from Pakistan, where Pakistan is today. I don't care about that. Like, I'm like, okay, I can look at it from a historical point of view, like, oh, this is amazing. These guys were amazing. They did this and that. But there's no pride. There's no shame. And this is why I just don't buy into it. And now I know what
Okay.
you're going to say. So you say why it's not okay about being proud of it.
Okay, it's okay to enjoy it. It's okay to be happy about learning about it. Okay, it's okay to be curious about it. Okay, it's okay to get
Yeah.
pleasure out of all of it is okay, but it's not okay to be proud of it because you did not do it. This is a collectivist mindset that you, by association, are taking pride of other people's accomplishments. The only people that I think makes sense to be proud of the amazing temples that these ancient Hindus built are the people involved in building those temples. Okay, but it goes the other way around too. It's not okay for you to be like, you are acknowledging that. Yeah. So where is it? Your comments say you're also acknowledging that the caste system is horrible and you don't like the caste system. Okay, but it doesn't make sense for
Yeah.
Hindus to be ashamed of it.
Yes.
Like, it's
Exactly.
yeah, because they're like, if you're not responsible for something bad, it's ridiculous for you to be ashamed of it. In the same way that if you're not personally responsible for something good, it doesn't make sense for you to be proud of it, right? So yeah, I think reserve shame and pride for things that you are
You have
responsible
done.
for.
Yeah.
Yes, you're responsible for. Mojo is asking, Armin, we should learn from the past, but not worship it. Do you agree? No, I think, like, worship. By the way, worship. I think people just use the word worship too loosely. If by worship you mean enjoy, I think you could learn from it and enjoy it. Okay, because you might be obsessed with the past. You might be obsessed and curious about learning about the past. That's okay. As the only way that enjoyment of the past could be problematic, okay, is that you take pride in, you take pride in things that you have not accomplished. You could enjoy, you could be a history buff, you could really enjoy, even if you're not learning from it, you could just be like, I'm just satisfying my sense of curiosity. That's completely fine. That's a completely healthy sense for you to satisfy just by going and learning about ancient Egypt or ancient Persia or ancient
Mm.
whatever. Okay. The other problem is that if you take ancient myth as reality, that's a problem. Okay. And another thing with his problem with history is that if you see patterns that you think must repeat themselves, and then you come up with these conspiracy theories based on patterns that you think you see in history, and you think like it has to repeat itself, and you come up with bizarre conclusions and predictions about what the future is going to happen, right? Also, another dangerous thing that you could do with history is hold grudges. Right, that's another form of that's actually one of the most dangerous things you could do with history, right? If you want to get revenge from people that live today because of what ancestors did hundreds or even thousands of years ago. And I'm very familiar with this because in Iran, there's a culture of hating Arabs because of what Arabs did 1400 years ago, and it leads into a lot of racism, right? So if you use history as a way to form grudges against groups of people,
This
that
is
is
what
the
it does.
that's the most
Yeah.
destructive way of
Yeah, but
using
that's the end result. That's the end result of this. When they talk about this, we are proud of our Indian culture, Indian ancient history, and then they use that to diss the later history of India, which is dominated by Muslim invaders and then Muslim rulers like the Mughals and all that. So that's why I just see that as dangerous. And even if it wasn't there, I'll be like, okay, I'll read a book about ancient Indian civilization, and then I'll be like, oh, that was amazing. But there's nothing to be proud of it, and there's nothing to be ashamed of it. Why would you be proud of your ancestors from 3,000 years ago, but not from 10,000 years ago? Like it seems so arbitrary to me. So that's why I don't care.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we have a tweet that we want to watch here. Let me bring it up.
Please react to this. Oh yeah. So
okay. So we have a Patreon question saying, please react to this tweet from Tristan Tate. So for people who don't know, Tristan Tate is Andrew Tate's brother. And I believe that when he posted this, he was in jail, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like he was in prison.
Yeah. So it's not him. Someone else is running the brother's account.
Do they not have access to their phones in jail?
No, of course not.
I think we do. No?
Yeah, no.
I think you have a right to hold your phone if you're arrested.
I don't think
they don't
so.
have their...
Okay. No. You can't have a phone, man. Like you can't be corroborating evidence. No, you can't. If you're, that's the whole point of putting you in detention. You can't have, because so why would they do that? So you're communicating, you're running your operations. No, there's no way.
Can somebody let us know that how this thing works? Is it the same law?
So his manager, so their manager is probably tweeting on their behalf.
Okay, so read the tweet though.
So my brother has received thousands of letters from Muslim supporters around the world. So yay, your brother succeeded. That's why he converted to Islam, because he was, he was riling up people. He was gathering people in his support. But not a single Christian has sent me a letter. So you know what, Christians, I don't subscribe to Christianity. But if that's the case, I doubt it though, because that's also because Tristan Tate is not as popular as Andrew Tate. But if that's the case, then well done, Christians, because if you stay true to your religion, then these are not the guys that you should be supporting. And also Muslims should not be supporting these guys who are basically pimps and running gambling operations and a sex racket. These guys should not be, you should not be supporting these guys. I mean, even if, let's just say, they're innocent of, sex trafficking and whatnot, these guys were still running pornographic businesses. Now, from a liberal worldview, if the no laws are broken, then that's fine. But from a Muslim point of view, you should never be supporting Andrew Tate. So Christians versus Muslims. So obviously Muslims have proven to be, to have this tall poppy syndrome. They would just go for their guy, whether he's in the right or wrong. They would just go for him. But Christians have obviously shown that, no, you know what? We spoke about this, that the Western conservatives should not be supporting these guys.
Yeah, I'm just very amazed about how unconditional this support is from many people in the Muslim community. Like you're our guy. You join Islam, we support you. We don't really care if you are a Muslim. Okay, you could do whatever. We have your back. This is like really impressive teamwork, guys. Like, no judgment. You could have, you could do sex trafficking or like do whatever you want. You could be using women. You could be holding women against their will. You could be threatening them, throwing their stuff out the window. You could be saying the most bizarre, like what right-leaning people usually call degenerate. Conservative people and Muslims call degenerate. You could do all of that, but like if you're on our team, you're on our team, right? So this is why they are dominating. This is why Islam is such a dangerous force, because they're dealing with enemies, that all the infighting and all the divisions go away, and they stand as a united force. And this is they got that They got that.
Should
They're
we?
very effective at this. Yeah. But do you think that are you impressed by how Muslims just throw away all their values and all their standards out the window when it comes to fighting against the liberal world order or the
I
matrix or
said
whatever
this a
else they want
long
to call
time
it?
ago, back in 2018 or 2019. I can't find that video, but I said this a long time ago that we're going to see right-wing Christians joining forces with Muslim diaspora in the
Yeah.
Western world
Yeah.
against the liberal world order. So now I see some hints of it here and there, but then obviously because these religions are so diametrically opposed to each other, that they are bound to have a conflict at one stage or another. So Muslims have this, again, now we're talking about, so 20 years ago, before 2001, Muslim diaspora was, like not that active in the West. But now there's the first, second or third generation Muslims are there. The numbers have increased. So they still feel left out because they're not fully, they haven't fully assimilated or integrated in this modern Western liberal world. So they feel left out. And so they say, okay, well, because Christianity is also losing in the liberal world. So they see the new liberal order as the enemy. So anyone who would speak against the liberal world order, they would embrace them. Even someone as pathetic as Andrew and Tristan Tate, even though that these guys have amassed their wealth. By the way, their wealth is very questionable. We don't know how wealthy they are. They're probably, someone said that they're probably not worth more than $5 million. Someone said that, but again, I don't know. This is all dodgy. We don't know. I mean, you wonder how much money can you make from cam business? But apparently these guys were making a lot of money, but it's still not $300 million as he boasted once. He said, but now his taters are saying, oh, he only meant, let's take that away. He meant that, what are you doing? This. He meant.
You don't like that big? You don't like that? You don't like it like this?
No, I don't like it.
Too close. Okay.
Yeah, too close. He meant he meant it as a joke, but he even sometimes he said, "I'm a trillionaire. I'm a god." Like all these kind of things. Like he has all the hallmarks of a cult leader. So now that we're talking about him, should we talk about his self-snitching? There's a channel which is run by a lawyer. I think the channel is called Self Snitch or something.
Actually, one of the questions is about that. Patron question we have: what do you think about the leak of so much evidence in Andrew Tate's case? I can see this as both positive and negative, but a lot of the leak is from himself, right? A lot of the leak is he puts it out there himself. Oh no, but we have also leaked information. Do you have the leaked information? Is that what you're going to show? Okay, show us.
It's very grotesque and very graphic.
Oh no!
So I don't think it's suitable for YouTube. I can play the subtitles, and anyone who has any doubts, you can put that. We'll include the link in the description. You can go and watch it for yourself or listen to it yourself. So basically, he sent this voice note to a girl he was involved with. And that girl is one of the 6 complainants who has accused him of sexual crimes, I would say. So he talks something like, listen to this. So what he says, something like, and you can tell that it's an old audio. He talks about raping her. He talks about choking her. He talks about he enjoys it and what's wrong with him if he does this. And it's pretty grotesque. So obviously it sounds like the other person, and you can't hear the other side. Obviously these are voice notes that he sent over a period of time to a woman who has accused him of rape. She's an English woman, British woman. So she reported the allegations to the police, but prosecutors declined to prosecute because they thought that, we spoke about it. The tribunal thought that we might not be able to get a conviction against him. So they dropped the case. But that doesn't acquit him per se, or that doesn't absolve him, or that doesn't necessarily mean that all the allegations were false. But when you're dealing with someone like Andrew Tate, people like that who break a law and they do these kind of things, sooner or later they're going to do it again, and they're going to reoffend until these people are caught. And that's what was happening. The authorities had been investigating for a long time. People say that him changing countries was also part of that, etc. So we don't know all these things, but all of these pieces fall into their place. And it makes sense what's been happening. But a lot of people are now, I've been listening to some experts as well, they're saying that he's probably going to go away for 20 years. The other three...
20 years? Are you sure?
At least, yeah. He's going to go for at least... Well, again, like some people are talking about it. Some lawyers are talking about it. They're saying that he's going to go for 20 years. His brother might go for 10 years or something, because there's no allegation of rape. But he might be guilty of... sex trafficking. The other two women who were caught alongside the Tate brothers, they have also started snitching on them, which is a very common tactic that prosecutors use. They listen to this on the look at this. These are just subtitles. So there you go. He actually he complains about,
and we know this is not a kink thing. This is like
no. This is not. Well, by the sounds of it, it sounds like she's complaining that why did you strangle me or whatever, and he's saying,
okay, so it's not okay. So this is not a consensual kinky relationship. This is a threat.
This is reported by
Vice,
so we can only go by that. So they're saying that this is not it, and again, like he's saying, look, you didn't pass out, so what? I strangled you a little bit. Chill the f out, Jesus Christ. Like I thought, what did it say? I thought you were cool with that. What's wrong with you? Blah blah blah. So obviously, this other person is complaining about him doing what he did, and he's saying, what's wrong with that? Nothing happened. It's all cool. Blah blah blah. So,
he's not very smart, by the way. Like even some of the leaked information are videos that he had in his course.
Yeah, like this. Do you want me to? We didn't play this one. Do you want me to play this next video where he's self-snitching? So here, I'm gonna play this video. So he's just snitching himself, and this is like
I keep going on like, okay, this guy's an idiot, and I'm like, oh, actually, he's very smart at a scam, and then I listen to his self snitching. I'm like, okay, no, he's an idiot. So I keep going back and forth. Like he seems to be smart in scamming people. Not very smart at. Yeah, but he's not very good at keeping it going. Like he has in his courses, he has video admissions of tax fraud.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play all of them. So I'm gonna make multiple clips of Andrew Tate's confession. This is a new series that I've created, and there's a playlist. You can actually watch them all one by one. So here, Andrew Tate is on camera saying how he's taking advantage of single, lonely men. The very single, lonely men who are now defending him. Look how he scammed money out of this single, vulnerable, horny, lonely men. Listen to this.
And maybe this is a bit bad. Here's where the famous would start. So it'd be good. Like I had a lot of girls who worked for me, and the best was like the Ukrainians or the Russians. It was amazing because they'd get some guy, fall in love, they'd arrange the day to meet, all this shit. I need a visa. Okay, get a visa. I need money for a visa. Okay, how much is a visa? It's $900. No, but it's not $900 because I went to the embassy. They think I'm a risk, and I need a return flight there and back, and I need a hotel. I need to have spending money in my bank account. They won't let me come. Or how much you need? All right, 10 grand. Boom, it's 10 G's. Boom. Thanks.
Wow.
Go to the embassy, take a picture outside the embassy, boom, come back. They rejected my visa. They said we have to wait 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they'll give it to me. Okay, baby, boom. 2 more weeks of tips. Boom, 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 boom. Because now he thinks he's going to fuck, right? Thinks he get the girls. Now he's spending more than ever. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks come. Some other problem, whether it's visa, whatever. We make up some bullshit, right?
All these OnlyFans chicks can learn from you, man.
Oh, man,
no,
bro,
but you know, like a free
people watch
free OnlyFans tutorial.
Yeah,
here
people would say, why did those girls work for you? Because the girls would work for me, and at 50%, because it was 50-50, would make millions per month. If they worked for themselves, they'd make fucking nothing. I was the best in the fucking game.
It's not 50-50 either. He actually, in another video, he would tell you how he would shortchange them as well. So we'll play that video later.
Me, and I had a whole team of staff. The girl would only work 6 or 7 hours a day online.
So how did it end?
bro, the story's just begun.
Oh,
You want me to tell you? I can shut up if you want.
Wait,
Look at it. He's bragging. He's like, yeah, I can tell you how I scam people. So
He's just like, this is an admission to scam. I don't
yeah,
understand.
but
Like-
yeah, exactly. No, but the tragedy here is, Armin, that he scammed these single, lonely, horny men who think that these hot cam girls are going to come and meet them. They've sent them 10 G's, and now he wants to get out of that, and then he delays it for these women delay it for further 2 weeks and keep getting further tips because these guys are horny and they think, yeah, this hot chick is coming to meet me. But listen how he scams further because he's still not done with it. The story has just begun.
Double dipped and started to coach these guys too, right?
I could have, but fuck, I'll give it all for free because I'm rich already. But so the girl would be online for 6 or 7 hours, but then when she logged off, was sleeping or whatever, on her WhatsApp, I'd have staff. She was online 24 hours a day. Her WhatsApp, her this. She was famoosing when she was asleep. We were bringing in money from the fucking sky. We were promising all these meetings, all these pictures outside of embassies, all this shit. Eventually, the girl, what she would do is she'd say, oh, I don't want to go embassy. She'd give a really lame excuse to try and provoke the man to get angry. So she'd say, the embassy want me to come back, but I have a headache. That was the one we'd use. He'd be like, I just sent you $1 million. You promised you were going to come. You said you had to delay. Now you're saying you have a...
I think it's obviously, again, he's exaggerating as well. I just sent you $1 million. I don't think anyone would have sent him $1 million. But again, this is what happens with these kind of people. They brag. He's just trying to impress these two teenagers or whatever they are. They're like, hey, look how cool I am. Yeah, I can do anything I want. These people might not even have sent 10 grand. Like, it might be a small scam of $4,000, $5,000, $2,000 or something. They'll take anything. You'll take anything, right? If you're a little scammer, you'll take anything. But listen to this.
Fucking headache. You won't go to your appointment to make him mad on purpose because that would annoy any man. And then that's what we needed. We need the little trigger. And we go, why are you being aggressive? I'm not being aggressive, but you're not serious. Da, da, da. And then we'd say, but you know what? I really like you and I'm flying to the other side of the world by myself and now you're being aggressive and now I'm intimidated.
Ooh.
And we'd flip it on him saying, well, now you're being scary. No, I'm not being scary, but you know, it's your appointment.
Gaslighting the guy.
You're supposed to go, yeah, but I feel sick and you don't even care. Female bullshit. And flip it on him. Flip it on him. And he'd get fucking furious because we were really good.
Even his friends are
sides.
disgusted.
Yeah.
Even his friends are disgusted. Like,
Are they disgusted or they're like... because they might be one of those people who send this money to these.
Yeah, they can
girls.
imagine themselves like chatting with those girls. Like, oh my god, I was begging Andrew Tate all this time instead of begging this beautiful girl.
Yes. Yeah, there's another video where he says that he himself is sitting on the other side. Tristan Tate we played that video.
Am I being immoral by thinking that these like, I know I should be feeling bad for the people he scammed, but I don't feel bad. I want to slap them. Like, they were giving like so much money to these girls, and the girl was like, "Oh, now you're being aggressive," and they were like, "Oh no, please, I'm not being aggressive."
Now you're being immoral.
Like, how pathetic do you have to be as a man? Like, I want to slap you. I want to slap you. A girl was like, "Oh, you gave me so much money," and now she's saying like, "Oh, you're being so aggressive," and now you're on your knees begging her to be like, "No, I'm coming out. Like, you just want more money." Like, maybe you should. Like, I'm not upset that you were separated from your money. Like, I know this man should go. Andrew Tate should go to jail, but you deserved all the money you lost. Like, you are pathetic. You're pathetic. You're pathetic as a man. Somebody should slap you. I mean, in my
being stupid is not a crime. I know what you mean.
No violence.
Yeah.
No violence. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But being stupid is not a crime. We can. Once we go down that rabbit hole, then I didn't
say it's a crime.
No, but I know you're saying that you're not so feeling sorry for them. You're saying that how pathetic.
Yeah, no, but I didn't say that they committed anything illegal. I didn't say that they need to. I didn't say that they need to be punished. Okay, but I'm just saying it's a good thing maybe that they're separated from their money. Okay, because
no, it's not a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing because you need to learn your lesson. Okay, money. I mean, these people are not like they're rich anyways. Like, they're not going to be homeless or anything. Okay, maybe losing this money will make you look in the mirror and like, I need to change my price. I need to look at myself in the mirror because I am pathetic. I am.
Would you say the same thing to? Would you say the same thing to grandmas and grandpas who get scammed when they end up sending money to people in Nigeria?
Exactly not, because listen exactly to what I said about the difference, okay?
It's just because sex, this one is about sex. But horny men are being governed by...
You didn't listen to what I said. I said these people, okay, if they're rich and losing this money, they're still rich. It's not like they were going to become homeless or like
You don't
gonna,
know it. Some.
Yeah,
No. There's actually. I'll quote you an example. There's actually one case.
yeah,
with
that
Tristan
guy I will
Tate.
feel sorry for. Okay, I'm
Okay, all right,
specifically
okay,
talking
okay.
about rich like people who are after losing this money, they're still like kind of rich and everything. If you're talking about a grandma or grandpa who's like losing their retirement money, or I will feel bad for that. If
Yeah, but
somebody
listen,
is
okay.
like, okay,
Let's just go with this. These guys are like, oh wow.
You know, it's your appointment. You're supposed to go, yeah, but I feel sick and you don't even care. Female bullshit. Female bullshit. And flip it on him.
Oh my
Flip it on
God.
him. And he'd get
Look
fucking
at the
furious
shit.
because we were really good
You're
at
playing
fucking
both sides.
poking him to the point where you go like, you're a fucking scammer. You fucking scam me. You're really mad. I can't believe you think I was a scammer. I was going to come. I went to the embassy. You're a fucking liar. Every man in my life has only lied to me. I thought you were
Wow.
different. Da-da-da. Big beef. Big argument. Big argument. But here's the thing.
wait, one second,
Guy would get pissed off,
one second.
right? And leave. Stop tipping her. Stop coming to her.
Yeah. Well,
Do you know what that sounds like? Do you know what
What?
that sounds like?
what the
That
hell?
sounds like the Matrix. That
Yeah,
sounds
he's
like
a-
an effing Matrix. That's like you're in a dream and somebody is pulling the strings and you don't know that you're in a fake world. You know what that's called? That's called the Matrix. This guy is the Matrix. This guy that is telling everybody that the Matrix is after me, he's the Matrix. He's after you.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's a very good point. The
guy would get pissed off, right? And leave. Stop tipping her. Stop coming to her. But for these men, that's the only chick in the world.
Listen to this part. Now, this is how manipulative this is. Now I feel sorry for those men. But listen to this.
Okay,
but for these men, that's the only chick in the world, the only hot chick in the world who talks to him. Maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes 2 weeks, maybe it takes 3 weeks. He's in bed at night, alone, jerking off, looking at her old videos and pictures, watching her stream again from another account so she can't see it's him, sitting there going, maybe she was going to come.
Yes.
Maybe I just got too mad when she had a headache. Maybe I should have been a little.
Maybe I should send her 10 grand again.
I do feel bad for him. But
I don't know how funny it's funny now.
This is the cell. Now you don't feel bad. Now I feel bad. Switch.
Someone Shakila, I think someone in the chat just wrote that Harris, you don't understand the power of simping.
This is the self-proclaimed savior of men, of young men. This guy that is trapping, scamming men and telling them and making them feel that they're scamming the girl, like turning it on them, right? This guy who's taking advantage of young, lonely men, people are claiming that he is the one that is saving young men, the one who's like scamming them out of their money, you taking their loneliness against them, using it as a weapon against them.
Listen to this. So now this guy's like, oh shit, maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe she was definitely going to come. What does he do now?
A little bit more patient, and she would have been my girlfriend. And 100% of the time, in less than 3 months.
100%. I thought maybe it might be 40, 50% of the time, but no, because he has already invested some money into this.
Oh my God.
4 grand, 5 grand or something, 10 grand. He's already invested some money and he's thinking, hang on, I'm still lonely. Nothing's happened. So maybe this is what happens with the addicts, and they go back for more. And this is what's going to happen.
With an apology, a brand new pile of money, and the cycle would repeat. We fucking killed the game. Millions of dollars a week.
Wow.
And it was not just because I had beautiful girls. It's not because webcam is easy. It's because I am a genius. And I put together an apparatus of genius behind the avatar of beauty. And we fucking conquered the internet.
This is what happens with these narcissist people. Now he wants to tell the world that I'm a freaking genius. I'm running this massive scam operation. I want these 20, 22-year-old kids to worship me. How are they going to worship me? I'm going to tell them exactly how I run my crime network.
Okay, advice to young men. Okay, if a girl or a woman tells you, okay, is trying to play games with you, and like you need to do this, so I know that this is serious. Okay, like I don't know, like act like making you buy them gifts. Or okay, if you buy gifts for women, okay, it has to be because you planned it. If you get a smallest amount of hint that you are being played, you run. Okay, if they try to manipulate you, you don't play. Okay, when a girl or a woman is manipulating you for you to show them more interest, that's when you cut interest. That's when you show less love. Okay, that's when you don't reciprocate. You stop right there. Okay, and when they don't think that you're gonna love them, that's when you go open it up. Okay, it should be on your terms. Okay, do not become their dancing little dolls. Okay, little like puppet dolls. Okay, what is that called? Like little strings. Okay, make sure you cut those strings.
Puppeteers.
Make sure you cut those strings. Okay, like you will. You have to be a teenager if you don't understand when you're being played. Okay, if you're a grown man and you're still like wondering, like, maybe if I buy her a gift, she will love me. Okay, you are being played. Okay, if a woman is loving you because you buy her a gift, you are being used. You run away from that relationship. You might think that this will eventually turn into a loving relationship. It won't. You're being used as a wallet. Okay, if you buy a gift, it has to be because you planned it. You have to figure out if you're being played or not. This is very important. Okay, because the thing is that you keep chasing. If you keep going down that road, you think like this is fake right now, but I could turn it into something real eventually. Okay, if you buy the gift, if you give the attentions, when she's complaining, if you just like bend the knee and like try to make her feel better when she's crying, like if the crying and the complaining is being used is because of something else in her life, then you go there and you hug and you kiss and you try to make her feel better. But if it's being used as a weapon against you, you do not do that. Okay, because that will turn into a habit, because you are training her that this is how you could be manipulated. Okay, so you stop doing all of that. But I'm not saying don't be a caring man, don't be a loving man. Okay, just make sure that the caring and loving is being done because you are deciding when you want to do that, not because she is manipulating. It's not good for you. It's not good for her. You both better move away from each other if you're being used like that. But I'm just saying that the love and respect that you want, you will never achieve that in that kind of a relationship. You will never, and you always know back in your mind that this is not real love, that this is not the attention that you deserve. And if you have money, okay, and you can spend it, okay, don't spend it for a very long time in a relationship, okay? Like wait a couple of years into a relationship. If you're a rich person and you could shower somebody with gifts and trips, okay, if you do that at the beginning, you never know if this is real love. Wait 1, 2, 3, 4 years and then do all of those things so that you know that you actually have built a bond based on.
Okay, good advice.
Love.
Let's move on. Okay, good advice. So, but this, like I was talking to a friend, and I was like, man, when I look at my social media, I feel like, what clown world are we living in? Like this, we could not have imagined. Is it just because all the idiots are on Twitter and social media? Because when I go out to get my coffee, when I speak to normal people, they look normal, but I'm like, then you know what I think when I look at them, I start thinking, are you one of those idiots who idolize Andrew Tate or something? Or, or have these wacky ideas about COVID and all of this kind of crap. Yeah. But this is how bad it is. Sarah has just said this, and I think it's not just the Muslim children. She's saying the Muslim school children I work with worship him. We have several school assemblies about him, but the students don't listen, especially the vulnerable ones, the ones with ADHD or dyslexia, etc. It's so hard to get through the kids, especially the boys, about him. Having said that, listen to this. The news story came out last week. UK schools developing lessons to re-educate teens brainwashed by Andrew Tate's misogynistic content. I just say, I was just talking about forget about the academics and all that. One charismatic, I know, sorry for the lack of better term, but one charismatic activist or influencer can come around and he can destroy the entire social fabric of our society, and and it can just make people go nuts. So I think people like Andrew Tate are we can no longer see these people as just like, oh, it's just social media, it's just entertainment. Look how easy it was for him when he was presented in the court. You know what he said? He said, oh, I was just playing a character. So all this crap that millions of teenage boys and men are getting inspiration from, he can just quickly turn around and say, well, I was just playing a character. I was fooling these people. So I'll wrap it up. And then we'll go to another confession. But when this is what he does. So to make matters worse, how he was scamming thousands of dollars out of these single, horny, lonely men who also worship Andrew Tate. When these guys thought that they were actually talking to some hot webcam chick, they weren't even getting that. They had Andrew Tate on the other side. They had this guy on the other side pretending to be a chick.
She makes money when she's on the platform, yes. She makes fans when she's on the platform, yes. But then, if you have super fans that have her WhatsApp or have her Skype or follow her on Twitter or on her Instagram, you can interact with them 24 hours a day. Even if she doesn't want to work or she's asleep, you can send out a tweet. You can do the WhatsApp. You can do the Skype. You can generate money. So with my old Skype list for my girl, like I said, I used to go through there and say, I'm having my nails done today, or I'm having my hair done today. Anyone who sends me the money for my hair, I'll send exclusive pictures to. And then I'd say like it was $100 for the hair. 5 guys would send $100. So I get $500. She'd do her hair, and they'd all get the same picture, thinking it was exclusive. $500 for just little things like that. You got me a hustle. It's a hustle.
It's a hustle. And this is obviously an older video. So, I mean, this is a lesson for all. I could never get into it. I could never understand why anyone would pay for porn or webcam. To be honest, I'm not being innocent here, but you know, like, people can consume this kind of stuff free of charge. That's how I thought it would work, wouldn't it?
No. But people pay not because they want to see the video, it's because they want to see the video was made for them. It's about the
personalized. It's personalized. Yes, it's a bit of.
They think that this is like exclusive because it's exclusive. Like the whole exclusive part of it makes them because they think that this girl went out of their way to record this. It's not just like tits or feet or butt. It's not just that. It's just like this was made for me. But it's a fake sense of a relationship. You know, it's a fake. And now we have by the way, now we have AI that does that. So we could like talk about that later. Wow. We have AI relationships already there now, like AI. Okay.
Let's do a poll. I'm going to do a poll here, which David Wood asked. He said, "Who is a worse example for young men to follow? Andrew Tate or Prophet Muhammad?" Prophet Muhammad still wins over 2,500 votes.
I mean, come on, obviously, Muhammad still.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
No, but we're just looking at the moral example. You know, like, it's just a joke. All right, are we done with Andrew Tate's confessions, or do you want to hear some more confessions?
I want to hear some more confessions, actually. Yeah.
So now this is more sinister. So the first confession that
wait, can I before you play that condition, the last tweets the last comments that you highlighted, I want to respond to that because I don't know what they're teaching in school about Andrew Tate to counter him, because that could backfire. Okay, if you tell kids that, hey, this guy is trouble, you're just making him cooler to kids, you know. So I don't know. Do you think that could backfire? Like telling kids, like, "Hey, don't listen to that guy. That's not cool. This is cool." People are like, "Okay, thank you for making him cooler." Like they usually teenage boys. That's not. Yeah. Okay. Look. I was right. Sarah is saying it is backfiring. Yes.
I think it would. Yeah, you're probably right. I think this is a bit of an overkill, because once he goes to prison, people are going to forget about him. Government should actually just wipe him off social media's existence, because he's a convicted criminal, sex trafficker. I mean, we should just get rid of him for the next 4 or 5 years and forget about him. And I think that might be the sneakily, not explicitly, sneakily, I think you should get rid of it.
I think that makes him even cooler, though, being arrested like that. I mean, it's not good for him, okay? But for the effects on young boys, I think people like, the system has got it. He was telling the truth, and now the system is silencing him. So I think,
this conspiracy theorist, man. Like, to be honest, there's Sam Harris did a wonderful thought experiment on COVID and vaccines and all of those kind of things. So I'm actually going to talk about it too. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think I have an answer to it. But we can also not do anything. We also have this knee-jerk reaction that if something is going wrong, we need to we need to talk about it. So anyway, Let's go to
I have a
this.
solution. I do have a solution. I have a
Okay.
solution.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, what's your solution?
okay. So we cannot. So I think we need alternative role models for young boys, and you can't manufacture that. Okay, because if you try to make an anti-Tate, it's going to look so awkward and cringy because it's obvious that you're trying to make an anti-Tate. Okay, but for a natural anti-Tate role model for young boys to present itself eventually, organically, without actually you trying to create it, you have to make the left leaning environment less hostile to masculinity. Okay, I think like the reason why you don't see any role models for men coming out of the left is because the left has seen most expressions of masculinity as toxic masculinity, and it hasn't created an environment where role models could grow as content creators for young men. And I think that's what you need to change.
I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a fair point. I think the only way to defeat ideas is to counter them rationally. That's what we've done with religions, but it took us nearly 2,000 years, or maybe the entire of human civilization. But there were other reasons as well. But I am seeing that a lot of atheists are also buying into conspiracy theories. So I mean, I'm actually thinking a lot about this, like, yeah, I think I'll articulate it better some other time. But let's just go into our next episode of Andrew Tate's Confessions. Are you ready?
Yes.
So now this is obviously a lot more sinister, and again, when we're dealing with this, obviously, and one of the major charges is that he's a sex trafficker. But listen to what he has to say, how he would recruit women, young women. Listen to this.
Is this, man?
Look at the website down there, pickupartisttools.com. So he's teaching how to pick up women, and not only so picking up women. Okay, that's been going on for a very long time as well. So that's okay, I guess. But I wouldn't, I would never.
No, pickup culture is horrible. Pickup culture is horrible.
Yeah, but we can't really ban that. Yeah, I mean, but I think these men who actually, no, this is what I meant. This is what I meant. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like when Vitaly and all these pranksters, they popularized this gold digger experiment. All of them were scripted and fake, and it is misogynistic. It is. There's no two ways about it. But that has appealed to a lot of, again, 90% of or 80% of horny single men, 80% of men who are apparently horny and single, and they're just like, girls don't go to them. They're like, that's why they're becoming red pill. But anyway, we'll digress into something else.
By the way, we don't have any problem with men and young women being horny. Like we're not using the word horny. Like it's good to be horny. Okay, so
I'm just saying, like, then when you become desperate. I'm talking about it from desperation point of view. So these guys become desperate, and the ground is ripe for them to be exploited. That's what's actually happening with men. So listen to this. So what he has to say.
Before I had this webcam business, I fucked girls. I've got a PhD. I've always been the best. But I wasn't militant with it. Like, I'd get a girlfriend. I'd fuck here, there, but I didn't really care. But after I started this business and realized that the only way I can get girls to work for me is to fuck them first, I became militant. It became my job to fuck girls. I was fucking ruthless. I mean, every day I'd send 20 Instagrams. Every day I was on a date. I was fucking 4 girls, 5 girls a week. Because that's how I built my business. I built my business off the back of my dick. That's how I got rich. So I became militant with the...
Yeah, so you want to say something? Yeah.
Wait, I want to say something. I know why he's saying this, okay? He doesn't really mean what he's saying here, in my opinion, okay? I think what he's trying to do is sell his line of work. I'm imagining like a boy like behind a computer, like, oh my God, I wish I had that job. You have to fuck girls for this job. That sounds like the best job in the world. Oh, teach me more, guru. Like this is. I think that's what he's saying. I think this is part of his manipulation of the people who's watching him to respect him. Like, oh my God, how could I be more like him that I have to fuck girls for my job? This is like,
Yeah, but there still would be, obviously there would be a lot of exaggeration, like I was doing 4 or 5 girls a week or whatever, like obviously, because he did build his cam business at the back of it. He did build it up. He did create his business at the back of it. But listen to this part.
Pimping. And my bottom bitch understood it, and she understood that perfectly. So that is the recruitment structure, and that is extremely.
So he brings up. So let me give you a bit of explanation. What he means by
bottom bitch.
What does it mean by this bottom bitch? Now you might have heard that woman who came out and said that no, it was just a role play, blah blah blah. So a lot of people are now saying she is that bottom bitch. Sorry for I'm just quoting him. So, and he brings up this bottom bitch multiple places, top bitch, who apparently was a woman who's running his operation. And if he fails to seduce or lure a woman into his cam business, then she would take over. She would say, hey, look how beautiful our life is. And, like, this is great. Cam business is great. You're going to make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. And that's how they would manipulate women into this cam industry. So first he would approach, again, we've discussed the lover boy method, seduce them, and then slowly bring them into this cam business, convince them to, okay, let's do cam business. And if he fails to do it, then he's going to use his top bitch. Some places it calls it top bitch, some calls it bottom bitch. I think it's the same woman. So that woman, apparently, the one who said that, oh, it was just a role play, blah, blah, blah. And she keeps uploading videos in his favor. And so a lot of people are saying that she's one of the top bitches, basically, who's running. So obviously her survival is also tied to Andrew Tate's survival. So don't really buy into all of that crap as well. So she might be a victim as well. But the bigger problem here is, so here he basically told you that, okay, this was my business. I have to go and F girls, and I'm going to make them my girlfriends. And that's how he was recruiting these girls, by sending unsolicited messages on Instagram to these Instagram models and so forth. But as a method of controlling, this is what he does. This is where it gets more sinister. Listen to this part.
It's always going to be difficult to manage. It's never going to be easy for you as a one man to have all these women working for you, because you have to fuck the girls. This is a fucking super important. You're probably sitting there with a smile on your face right now.
Did you Armin, did you say why?
Why?
Listen to this. Yeah, this is it. This is the crux.
It sounds very unprofessional.
Yes, girls. This is a fucking super important. You're probably sitting there with a smile on your face right now. Look at you fuckers. You're all like, yes. You have to fuck the girls. You cannot sit and do a purely professional business relationship with a female. It doesn't work.
Wow.
One more thing. If you think that this video is a bit disjointed, whatever, and you might have to watch it 5 or 6 times, do it. But all the knowledge is in here. So I'm not going to sit and try and work out modules and all that crap. I talk as it comes. So if you have to watch it 10 times, watch it 10 times. I know what I'm fucking talking about. You have to fuck the girls. You cannot do a business relationship with a female, and I'll tell you why. Women have sex with somebody. If they're not fucking you, they're fucking somebody else. Now, a woman's always going to be the most loyal to the guy she's fucking, as opposed to anyone else for any other reason. If you have a girl work for you and you say, look, we're going to be business partners, we're going to make money, here's your cut, here's my cut, we're going to work together, blah, 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 blah. Here's I've had dudes, I've known loads of guys who've like tried to do a contract with a girl, tried to sit there and talk common sense to a girl. When's the last time talking common sense to a girl has ever worked?
Oh, wow.
Ever. If you're not fucking the girl, she is fucking someone else. And that other person she's fucking is going to have the control over her mind.
But look how primitive and backward this way of thinking is. So I have worked, like in my corporate world, I have worked with women. I mean, they all have relationships, they all have wives, but he genuinely believes that there is a lot of truth in this. Now he's not being cool about it. He genuinely believes that if you're not effing the woman, somebody else is effing her, and then he's gonna, and that guy would be pulling the strings. He genuinely believes
in
that.
any way, in any line of work.
Well, this is look, okay, maybe he meant that maybe in this particular line of work, but
because I was imagining, for example, I don't know, like you're a CEO of a company,
yes,
and you're trying to hire
her husband is controlling the company. This is
you're trying to go through a complete financial restructuring, and you're hiring a CFO, and the CFO is woman. And like, okay, I'm sorry, apparently I have to, this professional woman will not be loyal to this company unless I fuck, like, what? Like, I don't understand. Well, women are only loyal to the people who are fucking them. This man has no idea what he's talking about. Like, women have, like, they have their family, they have their sex life, they have their professional life. Just like men, they could separate these things from each other. What the hell? Like, how does he, like, talk about all women? Like, here's my tip to you, okay? When somebody talks in generals about half the population of the planet as if they all have the same characteristics, okay, they're full of crap. They're idiots, and you're an idiot for believing in them even for half a second. If you listen to this man, okay, and you were like, maybe he has a point, you're a moron. You're a moron. I'm sorry, you are.
But listen, so he comes up with a genius way to avoid that problem. This is what he does.
As opposed to you. And if he controls her mind and you don't control her mind, once she starts to pick it up a bit after a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and realizes how to make money on her own, is she going to stay and keep paying you? Or is she going to run off and pay her boyfriend, or them two are going to go traveling in Southeast Asia and she's going to work as she goes, or she's going to go to her boyfriend and say, look, fuck it, you type for me. She's going to run off. She's going to leave. There's no way. I did this business for a long time. There's no such thing as having girls who work for you who you've not fucked. It's impossible. You have to fuck them and they have to love you. It's essential to the business, because otherwise women have no loyalty.
This is more sinister. So this actually says this is a snitching part.
Manipulation. This is manipulation. This is
no, but this is criminal.
And they have to love you.
This is criminal manipulation. So that's where it becomes sex trafficking. So again, lover boy method, seduce them. Now he has coerced them into having sex, and they're thinking that I'm pleasing my boyfriend or my partner or whatever, and he knows damn well there's no sincerity in that. He's purposefully doing that. He's established a sexual relationship with the sole intent and purpose of manipulating them into making money. Now, yes, people manipulate at a personal level as well. Partners, couples, they manipulate each other, little things. Baby manipulates you when they smile and cry. All of that thing happens. But when you involve money into it, that's when it actually becomes criminal, and it becomes easier to enforce that. Okay, that's where trafficking is involved. That's where, when this woman is going to wake up one day that I've been taken for a ride, I've been fooled by this man, I've been manipulated by this man, that's when they're going to go to the police, and that's exactly what's happened. So it has basically caught up with him. So I'll just quickly finish this video.
If you sit and say to a man, look, I'm going to show you how to make unlimited money on your computer from home, and we're going to do it together, and after a few months he can do it on his own, he'll still sit there and go, yeah, but we started this together, so let's just stick at it together. He showed me how. Without him, I wouldn't have any of this, so I'll give him his cut. Women don't think that way. Women don't have any loyalty like that. They'll think, well, fuck him. I can do it without him now. Fuck him. And they'll run off. Women are snakes.
This is genuine. This is genuine misogyny, don't you think? This is genuine misogyny. He genuinely believes that.
It is genuine misogyny, but I think it's also something else. This man has been broken. Okay, this is his.
He hates his mother. He hates his mother. He hates his sister. That's also come out. His mother has disowned him, and he has never on camera. He said that he has no relationship with his sister.
I think he has trauma about women leaving him, and this is why he wants to do everything. This is why this might be more than I don't know. Okay, but I'm just guessing. Okay, I'm not a mental professional. Okay, I think this is more than just about money. I don't think this is about. When he takes their passports away, when he like manipulates them or threatens them or fucks them or tries to make them fall in love with them for them to not to leave, is because he's trying to do everything in his power to make them not leave, because them leaving brings back that trauma, brings back that memory of whatever crushed him, whatever hurt him before, whatever made him do all of this, so that he could say that he could prove to himself that he has control over women. He wants to make that right by forget what happened to him by proving him to himself that was a one-off thing, that he is not going to let women leave him. So when a woman now in his life, in his business, comes and tells him like, I'm done with this, we have like videos of him telling what he did. Like he threatened them, he threw their belongings out the window. It wasn't because he needed their money, it wasn't because of his business success, it was probably because he was reliving that trauma, reliving that heartbreak, because again, he knows, he tells his students that all of the men want to prove that they're worth something to other men, right? And potentially to himself. It's more about you proving something to yourself, that you're worth something, that woman in your life that left you that back then, if they could see you now, they made a mistake, but look at me now. They would be on their knees now. Look at all these other women that are begging me to be with me, to work for me, that they love me. Okay, and I have manipulated all of them. Look how much in control I am. It's all about proving to yourself. You're showing other people how much worth you have, and by other people's accepting that, you say like it must be right because all of these people I agree as well. Do you think that's a good guess? What do you think? You're me too, babe.
No, I agree. I think when he said this, women are snakes, well, the first time I heard it, I said, well, this guy's been broken by some woman. And then later on, some other news stories have come up. I saw a clip where he was saying that me and my brother, we don't like my sister. He doesn't like his sister. And then his mother has been awkwardly quiet. But then someone close to his mother has actually given a statement that his mother is shocked at his behavior. And she apparently lives in Luton still, in a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom house, and very in poverty, as they said. So however much money he was making, he wasn't obviously. So that shows that he doesn't have a good relationship with his mother. So yeah, you're right. You've hit the nail on his head. He's been burnt by some woman, heartbroken, and now he's just having this revenge on women.
Be in love with you, which means you have to have sex with them. So I fuck him, and they'll run off. Women are snakes. They have to be in love with you, which means you have to have sex with them. So this is why your bottom bitch is so important, because your bottom bitch is going to be there from the beginning. And if you ever want to grow the business, you have to be having sex with other women. And your bottom bitch has to understand that. So the dynamic you pull there with your number one girl, your bottom bitch, your first girl, is after you've been working a few weeks or whatever, after things are going well, you'd say to her, you know what? Me and you can get even richer. And she'll say, how? And you'll say, if me and you got some other girls, me and you, not me. If me and you got some other girls to work, then we'd have even more money. And also what we could do is I could give you a percentage of their money. So you could teach them and train them to be like you, and I can give you a cut of their money as well. So you have more money as well. And we can buy a house, and buy a car, and we can invest in crypto, whatever. Sell them a dream. Sell them some dream. And we'll buy this big property in fucking the Bahamas. And she'll go, oh yeah, but where are we going to find girls from? Say, well, I'm going to find the girl, and I'm going to bring her to you, and you can tell her how good it is to work for me and how great it is to do this webcamming thing and how smart we are with this typing system that no one else uses. It's actually true that no one else really uses a typing system. The system I taught you is the top.
It's actually true. Anyway, so that's finished. So obviously he's just snitched himself using sex as means to control, manipulate, coerce women. Someone could make an argument that, hey, those women were still responsible for their actions, but this is not how. I think when Vidu was going that way, I'm sure he would be horrified as well. He was horrified to begin with, but he was making the argument that where do we say that, okay, this is coercion, and where these women are going to take responsibility for your actions. Like, for example, if I come to you, if I manipulate you somehow, if I con money out of you, then that's, then I'm a con artist, and then I deserve punishment. So I haven't put a gun to your head and scammed money from you. But in this case, he's coercing women. Now, has he put a gun to her head or not? How do you answer that? There's no violence involved, apparently, through his own snitching. Although I'm genuinely, a lot of women have accused him of violence as well. These women, the American woman, for example, the one that, from where he got into trouble. That was happening in August last year, February or March last year, when he took her passport and they didn't let her go, and then she called her boyfriend in America, and then he alerted the authorities, and the Romanian police swatted him, and they recovered the woman. But they've been investigating him ever since in the sex racket thing. But how do you? But some people say, well, she went there willingly. She got into this cam business willingly. If she decided to sleep with him, she did that willingly, and now she's falling for his words. willingly, then where is the responsibility? How do you answer that? But no, I obviously don't buy that. I say, well, there's still coercion. There's mental manipulation, especially to take financial advantage of it. That should be a crime. How do you answer that?
Well, I mean, so I think people have to separate the legal discussions from the moral discussions. Okay. So when it comes to the coercion that is illegal, I don't know what they got him on. Like, it seems like he also did something illegal. But let's imagine that he didn't do anything that physically that was coercive. Okay. But I think he did. That's why he's in trouble. But let's assume he didn't. Okay. That would make it not illegal, but we're judging not just the legality of it, but also the morality of it. Okay. So because there's levels of coercion that is that legally are not considered coercion, but they are cultish manipulation tactics, right? That have been studied for many years in cultish behavior and cult manipulation and gaslighting and stuff like that. And it's pretty close to coercion, right? And there's a wide study on this. Like, this is not something that people are just making stuff up, right? There are levels, there are ways for you to manipulate. That's why we call it, maybe if you don't want to call it coercion, you could call it manipulation, right? And because it's it's a gray line, like, you cannot make it illegal, because if you make manipulation illegal, then the law would be too involved in people's lives, and there's not a very clear line of how much manipulation could be considered coercion. So coercion, the things that we are calling manipulation and cultish mentality and cultish level of manipulation, is not something that the law can get involved with, because the level of coercion that you can prove for the legal authorities to get involved with is the standards are a lot higher. But just because something the standards for the law getting involved is so high, that doesn't mean we can't judge them. We could, like, there are many things that have passed the red line of immorality by miles before getting to the red line of legality. I notice a lot of people, when they try to defend somebody, they keep bringing up the law as if that is our only standard of judging somebody. The line between something, when something passes the immorality and for it to eventually get to illegality, that's a whole world of things. Like, I don't know, like cheating on your wife, for example, that's not illegal, but we don't say that's moral just because it's not illegal. So again, this cultish manipulation tactics and gaslighting, that is completely within the zone of immorality, and we are completely justified to judge it as completely disgusting behavior. Even when it comes to the standards of legality, you need a lot more for you to be able to arrest somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's a very good point. It's a very good point that we can still make a judgment when these people hide behind that, hey, didn't break any laws. We can still make a moral claim that, is that the guy you want to worship? Is that your hero who openly admits that I manipulate women and all of that? But final confession, Andrew Tate's next episode of Andrew Tate's Confession. It's a short video, but I would play this to you. In this case, I think he might be in trouble. He might be breaking the law here because he.
Oh yeah,
about the tax.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I do think that Andrew Tate also
did say that.
Yeah, he did. He did. Like, I saw, assuming he didn't do anything. Like, but obviously he did.
Yeah. You've already said it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, but listen to this one. I reckon there might be some criminal charge that could be thrown at him here.
Okay.
If he wasn't just bragging about it, if he actually acted on what he's preaching here. Have a listen to this one.
Next, tax. Going back to tax quickly, we talk about the fault audit thing. Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. But you need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax, because girls are lazy and girls are stupid and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we've made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. So control element. Secondly, it allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every 10,000.
Oh, you
remember how I said earlier it's 50-50, but then now he tells you that, okay, I only pay them 30%. I say the rest of the 20% are going towards your tax. This is clear scam.
Wait, this is beyond scam. He just admitted it. I mean, that's
If
not
it's
true.
true,
If he,
yeah.
no, wait, it's not true that if you get paid in Bitcoin, you don't have to pay tax.
That could be a separate charge, yeah.
No, that's not only illegal. He's giving bad advice. This is like you paying for it. Are these paid courses? Because he's giving you the wrong advice.
This is pickup artist tools.
Okay, if you
can guess who's watching.
Dude, even if you get paid in candies, you still have to pay taxes on candies. You could get paid in rocks and you have to still pay taxes on rocks.
Like, okay, I don't know that. I don't know about the Bitcoin. I think he meant that, okay, with Bitcoin, the government or the agencies would not be able to would not be able to know that how much you're making. Therefore, you don't owe any tax.
That's even worse. That is okay. So if he said, okay, there's two things. Right? Either he thinks that if you get paid in Bitcoin, you don't have to pay tax. Then he's an idiot and he's giving you bad information, or he thinks you have to pay them and he's telling you that you could get away with it, which is like an invitation, an admission that he's doing tax evasion, and an invitation to his students and recorded that, hey, do tax evasion. This is recorded evidence of him telling people to evade
That's
taxes.
how he got. He's self-snitching. I told you the confessions of Andrew Tate.
Like,
he's confessing.
And he's like, "Oh, you know why they're coming? I didn't do anything wrong. They're coming. They could come after you even if they didn't do anything wrong, dude. You are on video, recorded yourself. How stupid do you have to be? Like, this is the best way to get in trouble with the authorities, to record yourself telling everybody that I evade taxes. Like, there's no surer way of getting in trouble than having a recording like that."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But listen to this part as well.
$1,000 they made, I'd give them 3, and I'd keep 7. They thought they were on 50%, and I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, but we had to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. If they say, why is it 50-50? Because I'm the one on camera. You say, because I'm the one typing. I'm the one with the property you're working in. I'm the one paying the bills, the electricity. I'm the one who's, and the electricity and every other maintenance cost of this property. I'm the one who bought the equipment. I'm the one who knows what he's doing. I'm the one with the knowledge. I'm the da-da-da-da-da-da. Shut the fuck up. Go online. And they should be pretty happy with that if they respect you as a person overall. So really, you're paying 30. You tell them you're paying 50. Difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies. Taxes.
And when you're not paying any tax.
They don't believe you or they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I used to do this all the time. I used to print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here, sign this.
Random tax forms. So he's forging documents. I mean, he's so stupid. He probably thought that, like, no one.
Why would you record this? Why would you record this? Okay.
This is so stupid. You would never say this in public.
What is it?
I thought you said he's smart.
I hadn't seen. I'm sorry, I hadn't seen this. But this video is in our defense. I think this is a very old video. Look at him; he looks different.
Okay.
But you're right; he's not smart.
I'll pay the tax or not. Okay, and they just sign away. I don't know what the fuck I'm signing. I'll throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real's happening.
He thinks that he fooled these women, but he was actually fooling himself when he was making these confessions. I mean, this is how stupid that is. Yeah, I don't know. These are the confessions of Andrew Tate. Obviously everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is beyond any standard of morality you can apply. Right? Any decent person should be shocked, and no decent person should defend him. But Taters are so stupid. They look at all this evidence and they still make excuses for him. That's the sad part of the world we live in. This is a clown world. But not only it's morally and ethically wrong, as we've shown you today, he's also crossed some legal lines as well, where he would get in trouble. And obviously, so there are some serious charges of rape, of sex trafficking, luring women to his property, and then somehow slowly coercing them into sex business. Initially, they're not willing, but then they fall for it, either through lover boy method or using sex as a tool to control them or to manipulate them. I'm sure all the Romanian authorities are not stupid. I'm sure they're finding. And to make matters worse about it, this guy's stupidity, Armin, he actually used to say that, the West is terrible, blah, blah, blah. Romania is amazing. This is why I moved to Romania, because Romania is not corrupt. Yes, blah, blah, blah. And now he's going with the idea of, he actually tweeted that. He said, anyone who thinks I'm a sex trafficker, if you're putting your faith in the Romanian authorities, then you're an idiot. So
yeah, oh my God. Just dissing the people who have arrested you is not a good idea.
That's not a good idea either. No, he initially went with the idea. No, but I know his plan of action. I think I can read his mind. You know what he's going to say? He's going to say, I wasn't making these tweets. I was in prison. So it was my manager who made these tweets. So,
but even before he was arrested, he constantly said that Romania officials are so corrupted, corruption. Nobody follows the laws here. This is such a corrupt country. It's like, so now that he's arrested, what do you think the judge is going to do? Like,
you think we're corrupt, huh? You think we're corrupt? Okay, send him away for 5 years.
Let me show you what we do with corruption in this country, Mr. Tate. Let me show you. Let's fix that. How about that? How about we start getting less corrupt, starting with you?
Yes, exactly. Look,
he's almost as if he's challenging. He's almost as if he's challenging the justice system in Romania to come after him. You're like, hey, look at me, I'm so corrupt because this country doesn't care about corruption. He's a billboard of come arrest me so that you could show the world that we're not corrupt. I don't know.
He's stupid, and yeah, I tweeted about this as well. He definitely thinks that PR is going to save his ass. He genuinely believes that. This is why he's getting so high on this support that he's getting from Muslim men. They're not going to do anything. They're going to tweet about you, bro. They're going to tweet about you. They're going to talk about it for about a week or so, and
they're going to pray. They're going to pray.
Not even that.
They are.
This is a clown world. This is a clown world. Prophet Muhammad would be shocked. He'd be like, "What the f is going on?" Even the Muslim youth. I think I made this. I when he converted to Islam, I said this. I said that he's going to misguide a lot of Muslim youth. He's going to take them away from Islam, and he's going to get them towards. He's going to get them indulged in his, in his twisted, debaucherous lifestyle or something. I think that is happening. These guys, very few of them. I see Muslim names who are defending him. Very few of them they don't look very Muslim, but they're like, yeah, top G, yeah, F the hose, that kind of thing, which is very un-Islamic. And there are Muslims tend not to behave. They behave like that privately. They may do that. They're hypocrites, but they don't put it out there like that. So, I think he's an idiot. He's not very bright at all. Digging one's own grave. Yeah, he's this is what happens. I genuinely believe when people become too obnoxious, too arrogant, and narcissistic for their own good, they start doing that. They start bragging about it, and this is what's happening.
I have a solution for this. If you ever become rich or famous or both, I think the best way to make sure that you don't go insane like this, like Elon Musk or Andrew Tate, is to surround yourself by people who constantly question you. And they are naysayers. Do not eliminate the naysayers from your circle, because that will make you go insane. Have people around you that constantly that seemed like a bad idea. You might think oh, these are just negative energy and they're not going to help. They're going to stop me from achieving all my dreams and stuff like that. But the consequences of removing all of them is devastating. So have a few of them around you.
I hope Shakil is not one of those people. I think there's no evidence, though. This is a common mantra that I keep seeing from people. Those clips aren't enough to incriminate him. Look, I don't think you're a legal expert either, but saying cheating, short paying your staff, deliberately short paying your staff and telling them that I'm paying tax on your behalf, I'm pretty sure there would be a criminal charge for it somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about the, using sex as means to coerce people into performing sexual acts on camera, whether that's a crime or not. I don't know about that. But this tax part, there's definitely, there would be a couple of years in that somewhere.
There are a lot of people who say that, oh, no, because he's rich, the system always favors rich people and rich people don't really go to jail. And that's why he's going to use really good lawyers and he's going to get out of it and stuff like that. That's what they're saying. But I don't know. That's
that's a very. This is what I was worried about, Armin, when you said that you don't know if you feel sorry for his victims. this is the kind of mentality that it eventually turns into. If you're a victim of a scam, you deserve what happened to you because you're stupid. Being stupid,
No.
as a
No, okay.
society, we need to protect everyone, including stupid people. And no matter how smart you might think
Okay.
you are, you could be also fooled by a smarter scam artist. So that's why the
Okay.
law is for a reason. And that's why people who scam people, who take advantage of people's gullibility and stupidity, they should be imprisoned.
Okay, now I feel bad. No, now I feel bad. Okay, thank you, Shaquille, for being so disgusting. So I try not to be like you. Okay, I was very like you have managed to make me feel like I agree with Harris on this. Okay, yeah, I do. These people do not deserve it. I was only thinking about if like maybe if you're rich and you lost a lot of money because of this and you're still rich, those are the only people that I don't feel bad about, because maybe by losing this money they will like that would be a growing experience, that would be a learning experience. Okay, but by all the other people who were scammed out of their retirement money, out of their savings that they needed for the future, that they needed for better things, and they're not very rich, and this is going to be a hard loss on them. Being stupid is not a crime, and society needs to protect it's stupid people, okay? Because stupid people deserve more protection and more care because they're vulnerable, okay? You cannot just be like, oh, these people are stupid, so they deserve what they're coming at them. In fact, because they're stupid, they deserve more care, okay? Because being stupid is a mix of genetics and socioeconomic and environmental effects, right? So it's not like people have chosen to be stupid, okay? You need to being stupid is a handicap to be, and we don't and just like we don't look down upon other handicaps, we shouldn't look down upon being stupid. It is also a disadvantage that you have that requires more protection, not hate. It's hard not to hate stupid people because we're mentally also wired to hate some people who don't understand us, like that is our wiring of our brains. Like for inherently we get frustrated, but it's good for us to train ourselves to actually show more empathy and care for people who are less intelligent rather than hating them. Yeah
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Done with Tates. The Tate brothers.
Okay, look at this. This idiot. Shaquille is saying survival of the fittest. This
wow.
idiot thinks that evolutionary biology. Yeah, you think evolution? The fact that evolution is a fact of nature, that means that our moral system has to come from evolution, which is insane. You're insane. This is what
the whole
Nazi spot.
The whole purpose of creating a society is so that we look after our weak, vulnerable.
Exactly.
People who are disabled. That's the whole purpose of creating a society. Otherwise, go and live in a freaking jungle. Survival of the fittest there. That's so stupid, Shaquille. I've seen your name for a very long time. I thought you'd be smart. I can't. Wow, that's very disappointing.
Actually, for the sake of Shaquille, okay, Shaquille, if you want to be anti-stupid people, that's not going to work very well for you because you're one of them. For the sake of Shaquille, we have to be more caring towards stupid people.
Shaquille is a very stupid bro. Yes. Next time you get sick, do not go to the doctor. Next time if you lose your legs or something, we should not make those ramps so your wheelchair can go up. Survival of the fittest. Imagine kids throwing peanuts at you and saying, ha ha ha, you got no legs. Like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with you, Shaquille? That's so stupid. Shaquille.
Yeah.
but my point was, Armin, I'm actually running into a lot of people who are atheists, but at the same time very, very stupid. I know what you're going to say, but I'm just going to qualify my statement by saying that you would think that when someone gets himself out of a religion, you would think that he's given a lot of thought into his worldview. And he has changed his opinion or worldview based on some strong thinking. That's what you would imagine. I can imagine that if you are born into an atheist household, and then like your parents were atheists, and you just by pure virtue of getting born in an atheist household, you're an atheist. Then you probably have never thought about these questions like morality and where does it come from, how we ought to behave, and blah blah blah. You might have your own. So then you could be. I could forgive you for being stupid on something as basic as this. But Shaquille is a Muslim name, so I'm assuming that he probably was born a Muslim and then he revisited his worldview, and then to think that, because I know Dawkins has written and even spoken a lot about it, that yes, the natural world is run by Darwinian evolution, but we don't run our societies based on that. We just don't. I mean, any basic entry level person who used to be a religionist and then became an atheist, he would understand that point. But then why? But I'm running into a lot of these atheists who are just very stupid.
It's kind of like you say, like, oh, evolution is a fact, so our societies has to be based on the metaphoric goals of evolution. It's so dumb. It's almost like saying, it's almost like as if I come across Harris and I just push him to the ground and he falls and he looks at me like, why are you pushing me to the ground, Armin? I'm like, because gravity, the theory of gravity, everything has to fall.
Yeah.
Like, do you not believe in gravity?
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. But do you think that, I've been thinking a lot about it, but do you think as a society we are, again, this is not to say that only religion can do it, but religion for a very long time, for right or wrong reason, or for even through misinterpretation or whatnot, religion for a very long time succeeded in keeping people in line. When we get rid of religion, we are collectively or morally, we're becoming more our morality is getting very arbitrary. I would say, you would think that, like, you have good moral philosophers and thinkers, and they would tell you, like, okay, this is we ought to behave, like we need to empower our women or whatever. But then someone stupid like Andrew Tate, he can come and then he can capitalize on this rudderless free society, and he can say, well, wait a second, religions are wrong, Christianity is wrong, let me tell you, this is how you ought to behave, just purely out of his charisma or whatever. And then he can infect so many minds. But if let's say we were in Saudi Arabia or the world run by the church, people like Andrew Tate would not have been that influential to infect people. What do you think about that? I'm thinking a lot about it.
No, yeah, there is a gap. There's obviously society is changing so fast, okay, and the institutions and the traditions that we are destroying for good reasons, we're not doing a very good job at filling those gaps that we're destroying. And there's a silver lining though to people like Andrew Tate, okay, because it's it is hard for us to notice what's missing when these institutions are being destroyed and when these traditions are being destroyed, because political science and social sciences are not like math and or chemistry or even biology, where you could look things under a microscope, or where you can come up with the rules like in physics or in math. You cannot come up with, like, you can't do tests, right? So it's very hard to pinpoint exactly what is being removed and what needs to be replaced and what rules are like. So you need to listen to the science. You need to look for the science for society to scream at you that, oh my God, there's a problem here. That's the only way you could do it, because you can't run tests, right? And Andrew Tate is that scream, that red alarm, right? So as much as destructive as Andrew Tate is, it is signaling a need that is missing. So it is, for I think one good thing that could come out of Andrew Tate is the fact that we have a lot of people are noticing. Like, if you notice the reaction out of the many content creators online and many other analysts is like, okay, screw Andrew Tate, but what do we have for young men? Because young men in the past couple of decades have been left behind. Okay, in the past couple of decades, we have done a very good job at making a lot of progress. Or like, okay, what about women? Okay, what about, I don't know, black people? What about trans people? What about gay people? What about what about this? What about that? What about that? We did these people who were people who were in society who were left behind. We made a lot of progress in correcting those people who were left behind. But in that emphasis and focus on all these other groups that have been left behind, the people who used to be ahead are now being so ignored that they are now left behind. Okay. And this is not an invitation to stop focusing on women's rights, on gay rights, on black rights. You should continue doing all those things. Okay. But it should not come at the expense at not paying attention to men's needs. Okay. Because men are half of the planet. Okay. And going forward, it's going to be worse. Okay, because as much as women are going to be such a much more influential part of society going into the future, and they're going to become a lot more powerful. Okay, and they're going to take a lot of men's roles. Okay, but one thing they cannot take is being a father. Okay, and if you keep taking roles away from men, men's one thing that is true, and this is not something that I'm saying out of based on no studies or anything, like this is one thing that is true about many men, not about all men, is a lot of their depression, a lot of their sense of meaning, a lot of their sense of worth, and all of these things is tied to being able to do something for somebody, for society. Okay, being worthy for of
I think I got your point, but
having some sense of worth. But but here's this is a key point. Okay, women being influential in society is because a lot of it is because they need to regain the control that they have lost. Okay, it's because of financial income. Okay, but for a lot of men, not all men, having a job, being influential in society is not just because they need to live. It's also a source of meaning. Okay, and taking that away from men has caused a mass wave of depression and anxiety. Okay, and men who are depressed, alone, and anxious, it has a cyclical effect because they are going to be horrible fathers, and horrible fathers who are not there for their sons are going to create more alone, depressed, anxious men who are also going to turn
but do you think
bad fathers again?
No, I get that point. I mean, this is how it should be, but I get a little bit depressed when I look at some of these studies and things like everything is falling apart. Like, I mean, it would take 100 years it would take 2,000 years to abolish slavery. It'll take us, like, after Enlightenment, it'll take us 300 years to give equal rights to non-whites and women, and like civil rights movement, etc. But now things are changing so rapidly that I think that we're just not coming up with solutions fast enough. It's kind of like when you when you think that you've understood crypto, NFT comes along, and then even some of the most advanced countries, even they can't catch up. So same on the social issues. So now you said that, okay, we need to see this, we need to see science, and we need to see biology, and then we need to come up with solutions. Obviously, but traditions and religions, as totalitarian, sorry, let me start again. As bad as those religious traditions were, but because of the totalitarian nature of it, it kept people in line. Now, obviously, women suffered. No, that's not fair either. Obviously, weaker people suffered. That's not right either. Like there was brutality in those cultures. So it's good that we got rid of that. But now I think that collectively we're so freaking stupid. Can we afford to have a rudderless, totally free society? I mean, this is what's bugging me.
We have no choice. I mean, these things. Okay, so a lot of people are thinking about what you're thinking, Harris, but this is not something that we are deciding. Like, oh, should we go this way or should we go that way? Okay, this is a train that is coming at you. We have to decide how we can react to it. You cannot redirect the train. This is a force of nature. This is a force of like.
This is what I think.
Yeah.
And I carry on. Finish your thought. No, finish your thought.
Like kind of, for example, like when we had the Industrial Revolution, right? The nature of the Industrial Revolution and the effects that it had on the economy changed the family model from the extended family to the nuclear family. Okay, this was not like this is a forced reaction to a change of how humans live. It's not people like, oh, like a couple of people deciding like, extended family doesn't seem to work with this model anymore. Let's go nuclear. Like these are not decisions society can make. This is just something that will happen to society. You either realize it and try to adjust to it, or you get crushed by the train. You either get on the train or you
evolve. Society will evolve by itself. We just have to trust this moral zeitgeist that we would come up with solutions. This is what I've always believed in, even when I was going through this phase. But as I said, like it is very depressing to see, like what Sarah was just saying. This whole Andrew Tate phenomena is so pathetic that I say it took so long to empower women, to drag them out of their houses and educate them. And then I understand people like Hakikachu, they come from Islamic worldview that, if you empower women, then they're gonna, I get that we've got a very good argument developed against those kind of people. So Hakikachu himself is nothing. He's coming up with Islam and hijabs and all these guys that say, no, do not empower women, because if you empower them, then they will take over and they will not listen to you. So, okay, we've got ideas and we've been incrementally improving women's lives. But then someone like Andrew Tate comes along. No baggage of tradition or culture or whatever. Seemingly a lot of people, if these conservatives were not so stupid, they would have used him against atheists. They would have said, look, this is what happens in a free society. Like if you allow, that's what they should have used. But but he played it so cleverly that he captivated the conservative audience to make matters worse, even Muslims. This is how everyone is so stupid on all sides of the spectrum. So, but that would have been that's how they should have played out. They should have said, look, this is what happens: degeneracy, cam girls, OnlyFans, sex, blah blah blah. But someone like Andrew Tate, at the end of it, he comes along and he infects and pollutes the minds of million. Who knows what's going to come out? We're trying to deal with one Andrew Tate. It scares me when I think about what if 10 years from today or 20 years from today, some of the guys who are inspired by him, what's going to happen, man? We just don't know. Like, this is scary. I could just hope for, like, it'll blow away, people will forget about him, and then the better sense will prevail at the end. But this is very scary. Religion or something else would have been a lot stronger to counter someone like Andrew Tate. But there's so much disarray, even in the religious ranks, that even they've given up. Even they don't know what's going on.
Well, one positive thing to think about is that I don't think the non-religious community would have been so quick to accept Andrew Tate. So, like, if you look at the religious community, is very tribal, right? Like, they're like, this is one of us, we defend him. But one good thing about, like, for example, imagine Andrew Tate was a Christian or a Muslim before, okay, and then he came out as an atheist. He came out as imagine Andrew Tate was a Muslim, and he came out as an ex-Muslim, as an anti-Islamic, come out like Islam is horrible. I used to be a Muslim, now I'm an ex-Muslim. And then he was arrested, and then all of these recordings will come out. Okay, me and you would not be defending him right now. Okay, and I don't think Apostate Prophet would be defending him. I don't think Muhammad Sayyid would have defended him. I don't think Sarah Haider would have defended him. I don't think Ali Rizvi would have defended him. I don't think who else? Wait, I don't.
Not even this ex-Muslim. I think the bigger atheist community would not have defended him either. I think you're right on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think a friendly Muslim would have defended him. I don't think any of the atheist cosmic skeptic. I don't think Matt Dillon. None of us would be defending him. I'm like, screw him. Like, oh, but he's an atheist. He's an ex-Muslim. He's one of you guys. We were like, screw him. Throw him in jail. Like, lock decrees and like lose it. Like I don't want to be tribal in saying that we're not tribal, because like, oh, look at us, we're so non-tribal, okay? Because we do have
a tribe of untribalistic people.
Yeah, I don't want to celebrate us too much, because we have a lot of problems. Like, we have a lot of bigotry among atheists. We have a lot of problems, okay? But one thing one good thing is that we don't have is that we don't just defend each other just because we belong to this group. Like, we are very self-critical, and I think that's, going forward, that's, this lack of tribalism is going to make the world a better place. And that's what Andrew Tate realizes. The modern world has less tribalism. So for him to get a group of blind followers to just defend him no matter what he does. He has to go backwards. He has to go back to tradition. He has to join one of these tribes so that he gets an undeserving loyalty from them. So going forward, we're getting less of that. Modernity is less of that, and that's a good thing. So let's look at like some good things that we are just happening to the world. Yeah.
I know you've got one last question, but there's one video that I really want to play to you, and I know you hate the guy. I know you hate the guy. Guess who I'm talking about?
Who? Wait.
MBS.
MBS. Yes, I hate.
And I'm not glorifying him, but I'm just saying this is an interesting development. You know, like ever since you gave me that schooling, I remember that. So you know, like I'm always careful of what I'm about to say when it comes to him. But here is.
By the way, before let me say, Harris, you are so good at like changing your opinions, and I think I did. You changed my opinion. You changed my opinion today too. Yeah, you changed my opinion here today as well. Like when you schooled me today about like me saying like I felt you genuinely.
I think it was just I think you just set it off the fly. Yeah, you just.
But you were right. Yeah, but you're right. You're right. I accept that criticism. I didn't change my mind on that.
I didn't criticize, but anyway, that's fine. But listen to this one. So this is good. Yeah, this is good. So MBS thinks the new Europe will be the Middle East. Anyway, forget about what he's saying. But listen to this. What he has to say. But I'm like, take that, Muslims. I don't know. This I find some joy in that.
Yeah, I can.
But knowing what you have said, that this guy is still a monster, though, we cannot forget that. We cannot make light of the situation. So have a listen to what he has to say. The Middle East, or Islam, not the Middle East. Islam is going down. Girl, look at this.
أنا أعتقد إن أوروبا الجديدة هي الشرق الأوسط.
Look how happy they are.
المملكة العربية السعودية في ال5 سنوات القادمة سوف تكون مختلفة تماما. البحرين سوف تكون مختلفة تماما. الكويت حتى قطر على خلافنا معاهم لديهم اقتصاد قوي سوف تكون مختلفة تماما بعد 5 سنوات. الإمارات، عمان، لبنان، الأردن، مصر، العراق والفرص التي لديها إذا نجحت القادمة سوف تلتحق فينا دول أكثر وسوف تكون النهضة القادمة في العالم في 30 سنة القادمة.
No mention of poor Pakistan. We Pakistanis are not good enough to join the club. Did he say Iran?
No, he would not say Iran. He would.
He would not.
This whole thing is. He's saying this because of Iran. This whole thing is because of Iran. But I'll explain it. Yeah. Okay.
في الشرق الأوسط إن شاء الله. هذه حرب السعوديين. هذه حربي اللي أخوضها شخصيا ولا أريد أن أفارق الحياة إلا وأرى الشرق الأوسط في مقدمة مصاف في العالم وأعتقد أن هذا الهدف سوف يتحقق 100%.
الله يعطيك طول العمر يا سيدي.
Look at this shit.
They have to clap. They have to stand because otherwise they'll disappear. Look at the standing ovation he's getting. Look at this. Everyone's standing up, sucking up to him. Everyone stood up. I mean, how does it feel? Like he's our age. He's literally our age, and look at him.
Yes. Okay. Let me be honest here. Okay.
Okay.
This even though so this guy is a fucking monster, and nobody here needs to forget that this guy is responsible for the greatest humanitarian crisis in our lifetime. Okay. However, it would be that should never be forgotten, and I shouldn't say however because it doesn't contradict that. Okay, so forget that I said however. At the same time, it's unfortunate that he might not be successful at what he just mentioned. Okay, because as he's a force for evil, but if he is actually successful at what he's claiming that he's trying to do, that would be an improvement to the world. Okay. And by the way, this whole allyship is happening because of how scared all of these people are from Iran. So they have managed to bring the whole Middle East together in unity against Iran, including Israel, even as that's how crazy this whole Iran is as a menace in the Middle East. But beside that, the problem is that I mean, I do hope that he manages to do what he thinks he's going to do, but they have had such a bad track record at managing stuff. Like they have, for them to be successful, they need to really change. They throw money at things without doing proper studies, without actually analyzing whether it's going to have that effect. They have such pie in the sky dreams. Have you seen the project The Line?
No.
You have not? Okay. These people are throwing what some people are saying is $1 trillion to a project that, if it fails, not only will it not bring Saudi Arabia to modernity as to the next Europe, it will bankrupt the entire goddamn country. Okay. Let me show you what you have to. You are going to. Yeah, you are going. Your mind is going to explode. Okay, when you see.
Does that include like modernizing Saudi Arabia and creating a new city, Neom, and all that? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, the Neom project. Okay, you think that was big? Okay, look at this. Okay, this is a literal city.
Oh yeah. Yes, I heard about it. Yes.
That is a line.
Yeah, the whole line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is insane. This is insane. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it is very possible. Maybe it works, but if it's very possible that this is going to be a major gamble that is going to fail. And if it fails, they are spending so much money. They are gambling so much money with this, and it's even if it succeeds, they were lucky, because this is so much gambling with so much.
I saw it a while ago, and I was like, to me, it didn't make any sense. It's not like modernizing Singapore city or something, turning it into a smart city. This is like, I saw that, but I saw that as like as if a rich guy has got a new toy or something. That's what these are the vibes it gives you.
They are okay. So what I imagine is happening, and guys in the live chat, you could tell me if you think this is what you imagine as well. Okay, what I think is that they have so much money, okay, and they're like, oh my god, we're gonna one day lose all our. Yeah, but we are going to lose our money one day, because gas and oil is not going to be the future. And if gas and oil is not the future, Saudi Arabia is going to go bankrupt really fast. So we need to figure out what to do. Okay. And they have like they draw some, they like have this childish ideas of like, what if we do this? Right. But they're surrounded by people who will make millions and millions of millions if they say yes to this. Right. Because if the people around you, okay, say no to your idea, they're going to get paid. They're not going to get paid. No, it's not going to be this. It's not like they're going to. No, it's not like they're going to get their heads cut off or something. But you have bankers and project managers, okay, that even if this project fails, like, I'm going to make it $200 million. This guy is going to make $100 million. That guy is going to make $50 million. Why should I say that your project is stupid when we're all going to make? He's the one who's going to get back
behind it, Armin. But why the line? Why does it have? Why do they have to build a city in a linear manner? I mean, why not? Why not that? You've got this huge coastline. Why can't you make a traditional city around there?
It makes more sense not to do the line, because usually when you build a city, you build certain infrastructure, and then you could expand based when the city itself will generate the revenue for it to expand in all directions.
Yes,
right. Yeah. So because if you build the line, you're not going to have the city to function itself so that it makes the revenue to expand the city. You have to build the whole goddamn thing right from the beginning, right? So that's why it doesn't make any sense, and it can expand in all directions. Okay. And by the way, this is horrible for wildlife, because animals can't pass through this thing, and the whole thing is a goddamn mirror.
Bridges underneath it.
No, they didn't. Okay, they're not. Okay, it actually goes right through. Okay, but right, the plans they're right now, the blueprint that they're showing you, there's no such thing. Okay,
really?
And the whole thing, yes,
everyone does it. Like even when you make a normal highway.
I know
they make these little passages for animals.
I know that people discuss that. They are not doing that. They are not doing the responsible thing. Okay, that is supposed to be for animals. They're actually destroying animal habitation.
But I mean, you would imagine that obviously these are not Saudis. These would be Western engineers and architects. Why would they not take care of it?
Because they get paid if they say yes. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. By the way, the whole thing is a giant mirror, so everything on both sides of this is going to melt from heat. I don't know. Like, this whole thing is a giant mirror.
Well, I'm not going to make the engineering claims. Like, I would imagine that, of course, they would work something out. They would know.
Well, the engineers are saying this is insane.
Oh, like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, there's like a lot of engineers videos of like, what are you doing? Okay, I don't know, but there's some people who are praising
how
it as well.
stupid-
But there's some, yeah, it's like, okay, here, look at this.
How stupid would
Okay,
it be? What if you live
Okay.
from this side to the other? What's the point of a mirror? Why?
I don't know.
Is that a
I was
video
thinking, why
game?
not?
Is that a video game? What is it? Like, why? I just don't understand. What's the point of it? What's
know.
the freaking point of it?
I was wondering, why not make it solar panels? Like, why is it a mirror? How do you
Dude,
clean
yeah.
this mirror?
Yeah, who's gonna imagine? Oh, you know what would be a booming business there? Being a window washer. Imagine that, like a big wipeout.
Look how large the thing is. The entire thing is a giant city, and it goes in line like that. By the way, look, they started already. They're like they have started it. This is it. This is their started it. So they're going with it.
I think it sounds very stupid.
Yeah.
So,
But,
so,
okay.
so what if you're on the you live and work on the opposite side of the city?
By the way, again, I'm hoping this actually works, okay? Because unlike, I hate MBS, okay? But I don't hate Saudi Arabia, okay? I want Saudi Arabia to succeed. I want Saudi people to prosper, okay? I want the economy there to so I'm hoping this works. But honestly, if it does work, they somehow it was a major gamble that should have been made with all that money because we don't have any precedent. Okay, because we have seen the models that work. If you make a giant project of something that has never been tried, it's very likely that it's going to completely fail, especially with Saudi Arabia, who has started so many other major projects that are now dead. Go look at the history of Saudi Arabia, okay?
Failed projects, yeah.
So many failed projects that they threw millions and billions
but it doesn't
of dollars.
it doesn't even seem like out of necessity. It doesn't even seem. It just looks like a rich king with a lot of money said, you know what? Like he's got his courtiers, and and he said, you know what? I want to do this. I want to build the tallest skyscraper in the world. Okay, tallest skyscraper in the world. Okay, that's okay. You can have that kind of, because it's not. Yes, it's unprecedented. It would be unprecedented because obviously it's the tallest, but still, there's a tradition for it. But to come up with give me a new idea of building a new city, for a city, and there's someone would have said, okay, let's make a circular city. Let's make a square city. No, let's make a long line of a city. Oh, I like that. Okay, how much is it going to cost? Maybe roughly around about $1 trillion. Sure, let's do it. Let's bring some, top architects and engineers from all over the world, and they came, and as you said, they're interested. They're probably thinking, yeah, what an idiot, but they're thinking, you know what? Let's just go with it. It's just I'm going to make $100 million. My buddy's going to make $200 million. Go for it.
Here's their philosophy. Okay, their philosophy of these Saudis, okay, so is to do something that is so unique that the world has to pay attention to. Okay, because if you think about it, Saudi Arabia is not a rational place for it to be a business center. Okay,
Yes.
Because it has especially when the oil and gas is not the source of
And the baggage
energy
of Islam.
anymore.
And the baggage of Islam.
The baggage of Islam. Exactly. So it doesn't make sense for it to be a business hub. So that's why, I don't know, UAE has managed to be a business hub, and Saudi Arabia has it.
Because
right?
it's much smaller. It's easier to convince the West that, hey, look, we've laxed our laws, our traditions are different now. We've modified them, so it's okay. We're not going to arrest your women. But even then, we hear these isolated cases where a couple would be arrested for for kissing in public or something. So, but Saudi Arabia is a lot more scarier place.
Yeah, but the idea is that if people just come here because of these crazy projects that we have, okay, eventually when they're all here, because they're already all here, they're not going to leave, because now they're all connected and they already have infrastructure here, and they already opened the offices here, and they already have meeting spaces here, and it's already a business hub. So once it becomes a business hub, it can't stop being a business hub, because their networks and the connections and the offices has already been made, right? So they're like, let's just go crazy so that we are so eye-catching, and people are like, oh my, they want people to be like, oh, these crazy people are just throwing money, so let's just go and open business offices there, and factories there and infrastructure there, because it's just raining money. And for that, And once they come, and then we run out of this whole season of raining money, then they're already staying here and they're not going to leave. So that's their philosophy. But for that to work, these projects have to actually finish. And there's a big question if they're going to finish. We'll see, though. We'll see. Again, I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying it's irresponsible gambling.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a super chat. You got
do.
a
That's
super
the
chat.
first one. I got
Yeah.
it. Hi, Harris. More power to you. We got to create a community of rationalists here in South Asia. By the way, आपकी English बहुत अच्छी है. Thank you. Yeah, no. This is. I think he's talking about the rationalist community of. I forgot what it's called, but I know what you're talking about. Like in South India, there's you probably know that guy. Actually, I'm going to shut up because I can't. I'm horrible with names. I think I'm forgetting a name. I don't want to mix it up. But yeah, Apurv, thank you very much for your super chat and more power to you, buddy. Yeah. Sia is asking for your zodiac sign. She's asking she or he. Well, Sia, it's me. I don't know. What is Armin Navabi's zodiac sign?
Dinosaur.
Armin Navabi and I, we were both born on the same day, same year. So we have the same zodiac sign, which is
same
donkey.
Hour.
No, I was born at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
Oh, wait. Okay. Same day, though.
The same day, same year. Yeah.
We almost the same hour, actually.
Really?
Like we didn't. We converted to time one time.
No,
we were 1 hour. We were almost an hour apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Because
that's weird.
Yeah.
No, that's spooky. Both our mums were pop. they were busy. They didn't know. They didn't know what they were delivering to the world. They did not know this little shit is going to shit on our religion.
Okay. Well, it's the goat mermaid. We're the goat mermaid.
Yeah.
The goat mermaid. That's the zodiac sign. Yeah.
Okay. I'm done. I think I'm done.
Okay.
We
have a question from D, which I don't know anything about, so I don't know how to answer this. But I have an article about it. I just really quickly answer it, and then because I don't know much about this, but let me just bring this article that she shared. She's saying, what do you think of foreign mercenary groups? Are their blunders due to bad intelligence, or is there just a kill quota to present to authoritarian dictators? And how can foreign troops assess the situation on the ground? So I
don't know a lot, but I know a little bit because obviously Wagner Group, like ever since the Ukrainian conflict happened, I've been fascinated by Wagner Group and wondering what else they do. So Putin has been developing. Wagner Group has been developing a strong foothold, in Africa as well, which is the furthest campaign for the Russians outside of the immediate vicinity. You know, like there's the normal stands, and then the eastern part of Ukraine and blah blah blah. Those are the usual places where you'd expect Russian foothold, but I've watched some documentaries in the past where the Wagner mercenaries have been going to Africa as well. They literally behave like those, like what we see these mercenary groups in Africa, exploiting minors and poor people. And there's a lot of blood diamond. There's still a lot of blood. There's heavy industry of diamonds and exploitation of people in mining, and Wagner Group is involved in that, and obviously with assistance from the local governments as well, because there's a lot of conflict in those African countries. Obviously, there's I think it's in Sudan, in Nigeria as well. There's little domestic disturbances there, so they invite this muscle, thinking that we're bringing Russian muscle here, but that's actually Wagner Group that goes there, which behaves like a private militia. And then I'm not an expert, but there's one documentary that I watched a while ago. That's my.
I do think like whatever Russian mercenary groups have been more source of destruction and chaos, especially
they behave like thugs. They behave like thugs over there. Yeah.
So I don't think this is a problem with mercenary groups as a whole. I mean, they are problematic as a whole, but I think it's mostly just the Russian mercenary groups are a bigger. And I think just Putin just has to be defeated and crushed so that they just lose their source of income. I think that's what you need to do. However, I do think Russia collapsing as a whole would be a disaster. So I just hope Putin is destroyed. I don't want Russia to be destroyed. That would be a major source of instability for the world. So we want Putin to be crushed, but Russia to survive. So I don't know how you could find that balance. It's a almost impossible balance to meet, but yeah. So, I mean, no, it's not impossible. It's actually quite possible. But yeah, but that's what I think. Yeah, that's all I have. I did post a link for our Secular Jihadists YouTube members if anyone wanted to come up, but nobody decided to come up. So if you want to end this here, we could end this here, or do you want to do anything?
We can, unless you have time for
one more Andrew Tate video. Yes.
No, not Andrew Tate. I want to. Demi Lovato.
Okay.
She got in trouble again. Now I don't know. Is it just me, or you guys are noticing this too? There are a lot of other cultures, like Hindus and Christians, are also learning something from their fellow Muslims. They're also starting to become a bit more butthurt, snowflakey. So Demi Lovato got in trouble for her album cover, which is this one. And obviously she played with words here, holy fuck. And she's lying on a bed, all bondaged up, with mattress shape of a cross, album out now. And then she got in trouble for that, and Demi Lovato posted a ban for being offensive to Christians. I don't know if you want to bring that article up. So I think we just get it. So I think she hasn't apologized, but same thing happened to Rihanna. We know the usual culprits are Muslims, but in the wake of what's been happening in India as well, I told you there's a new movie coming out of Shah Rukh Khan. I think it has come out, where they were boycotting this, and Hindus are also getting butthurt over very trivial matters, that this Muslim guy wearing a green shirt, Shah Rukh Khan, dancing with a Hindu girl wearing a saffron-colored bikini, and hey, this is blasphemy. You're making fun of that, of our religion. Muslims have always been like that. Muslims are the worst, obviously. This is a disqualifier. But then Christians, sometimes they behave like that. Now, what was the Madonna song? I think back in the 90s they did that. But there's so few.
They did used to burn people alive for stuff.
Yeah, but that was that was hundreds of years ago. Hundreds of years ago. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think Christians are also getting a little bit more butthurt, and they're learning from Muslims?
Okay, to be fair, if they did have the upper hand, they would go back to burning people alive.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure
that's true.
Yes, okay. Yeah,
that was the main argument. That was the main argument against Javad as well. That we have slowly taken away this power from them, but they also internalize this sense of inferiority complex. Like, it was ingrained in Christians, in the Christian psyche, that you know what, if you're offended by it, then just deal with it. Okay, we're not going to give you any power to persecute us.
Yeah.
So they have accepted it. Muslims don't accept it. Muslims say, no, I don't care whether you're in France, or America, or whatever. I'm going to come and F you up if you say anything about my prophet. So Muslims haven't learned that yet. We haven't been able to tame Muslims. But Muslims, conversely, what's happening is Muslims are also teaching others. So this is where I said, like, a few years ago, I said this, that Christians are going to behave a lot. Christians and Muslims are going to join forces against this liberal world order. There was a news story a few years ago, 2018 or 2017. An Australian shock jockey by the name of Carl Sandilands, he made fun of Mother Mary. He said Mother Mary probably shagged some dude in a shed, and then when she came out, she didn't want to get stoned, so she just said, hey, it was God, our virgin birth. So he made a joke on Australian radio. He's one of the biggest Australian shock jocks, Australian radio hosts. So guess who actually came out, protested? Muslims came out and protested. Muslims said that, oh, Mother Mary is our mother too. And obviously there was an agenda behind that, because they wanted to make noise and they wanted to say, hey, look, we would stand up for Jesus and Mother Mary as well. And then you should also stand up for our Prophet Muhammad when they insult us. So that was that. So that's the first time when I saw that. Ooh, well played, my fellow Muslims. Well played. So they're going to join forces eventually. So they've been training and they've been sending the subliminal messages to the Christian community that you need to stand up for your Jesus and Mother Mary. And so it becomes easier for Muslims to stand up for Muhammad. So I think Muslims are succeeding in radicalizing. Not radicalizing probably might be a strong word, but Muslims are slowly trying to tell Christians that, hey, you need to stand up for the honor of your Jesus.
I mean, the reason why Hindus are like this right now is because of the effect of Muslims. I mean, they weren't like this. Yeah, so they have
absolutely.
already done this. Yeah, so when
Muslims I'm talking about Christians in Australia. I'm talking about that. So
I know.
Christians came out.
I'm just saying what I know. I'm saying what you're saying is true. Like, could be true because this has happened before. Like, Hindus weren't like this butthurt about their gods and goddesses until Muslims showed up in India and showed them how that is done. so they might be having the same effect on. I mean, like, this is the reason why a lot of Christians, when Andrew Tate came out and said, like, look, the reason why I'm becoming a Muslim is because Muslims stand for the religion, okay, and no one dares to insult Muhammad. And by the way, Andrew Tate, we did do that all the time, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
he's an idiot.
But Andrew Tate was celebrating violence because the reason why people are like, he was encouraging violence because when Andrew Tate was saying that people are afraid of mocking Islam, the reason why they're afraid is because of violence, right? So he was like, he was congratulating Muslims for many Muslims for their act of violence, right? And a lot of Christians came out and they said they disagreed with Andrew Tate becoming Muslim, but they agreed that they have fallen behind, that Muslims defend their religion and Christians need to do a better job at making it difficult for people to mock their God. And behind all that talk, like, I saw so many Christian YouTube channels that are like, yes, why is it so easy for people to mock Jesus and not easy for them to mock Muhammad. Right? And I was like, you all are saying indirectly that we need to get violent because you know why they're afraid. You know why people are afraid to mock Muhammad. And you're saying we need to do the things that Muslims are doing to make less people mock Jesus. So you are endorsing violence. You're like, we need to learn violence. What is this about? It is scary if more Christians are like, what do we need to copy from Muslims so less people mock Jesus? Eventually some of them will come to the conclusion that we need to threaten people.
There is a lesson to be learned here for the left as well, that if you say that, hey, it's a brown man's religion, don't insult them, then you know what, then you would also lose your right to target or make fun of the white man's religion, which is Christianity. So guess what happened? So they actually took it down, but not for the reasons you think. Oh. So the ASA, which is the advertising something agency, but what is it called? It's called something. The Advertising Standards Authority. So they received multiple complaints that the poster promoting Demi Lovato's album was irresponsibly placed where children could see it. So they took it down. It was put up in 6 places across London before being taken down on 23rd of August, 2022. This is an old story. But the ASA found that the title of the album would be clear to most readers that this alluded to a swear word. As the poster appeared in public place where children were likely to be able to see it, the ASA considered that the ad was likely to result in serious and widespread offense and had been targeted irresponsibly. So that was a statement. So they actually took it down. They still saved it. They said, well, hang on, this is not offensive to Christianity, but it's just the F word. It's alluding to that. So
do we have a brand that has kind of like looks like the F word? Wouldn't that brand be illegal?
FC UK.
Yeah,
French Connection.
Okay, so based on this argument, the FC UK, they have to shut down all their stores in the UK.
Yes. So they're alluding to that. So
I think they're making an excuse. I think it's because of the religion, but they don't want to say it's because of the religion.
Exactly. But again, like, it's conflicting for them. So they don't want to set a precedence here that, hey, we cannot mock Christianity, but we don't want to piss off them as well, because then where are we going to draw the line? Because then we're going to allow Muslims, and this is the whole problem. Everyone knows that. We can make fun of the white man's religion, but not of the brown man's religion. That's the problem. And the left has to wake up as well, that if you stop us from criticizing our religion, your minority religion, minority man's religion, then you're going to lose the right to blaspheme the white man's religion, which you all love, on abortion issues, transgender issues, LGBTQ issues. These guys pick a fight with every Christian on the basis of Christianity, but they don't allow us. They say, oh, this is racist, this is bigoted, Islamophobia. But this is why I always thought that the left would eventually wake up. And this is going to be fast-tracked when Christians and Muslims join forces. And I think that that's going to happen sooner than later.
All right. So on a related note, what was that thing that in India recently people got butthurt over? It was Shah Rukh Khan wearing green and another woman wearing saffron-colored dress. Okay. So now we have two things that Atheist Republic needs to make blasphemous art of. This news. So we're going to, in celebration, because we need to, whenever people get offended, religious people, and they try to shut you down, you need to come back with full force. Okay. So that one, we're going to make a blasphemous art version of that, a very, very sexually explicit blasphemous art version of that. So, by the way, I will post a link.
Do you need to change that to NFTs? We just start selling them.
No, NFTs are not good right now. But anyways, here's a link for people who want to go check it out. So if you get on this newsletter, every single blasphemous art that we make, we're going to email it to you. Okay, you get the booklet for first with all some of the blasphemous art, and every week we make more blasphemous art and send it to you. Okay, so we're going to make that one, the Shah Rukh Khan and that other lady with the saffron colored dress. We're going to make a version of that, but much more sexier. And this one as well. This news that you just showed us, I'm going to ask Susanna if we could make a blasphemous art version of that as well. So for people who don't know, Atheist Republic makes the most sexiest, gorgeous, beautiful, blasphemous art there has ever been. And you could get them for free on our newsletter. So make sure you go there. Yeah.
All right, last joke. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll definitely let you go after this, but this is important. But this is Andrew Tate, and you know how we were talking about
I'm here. I'm here.
How stupid are Taters? Taters are so freaking stupid. And that includes a lot of Muslims as well. Did you, by the way, get a chance to look at this on his hearing date? He turned up with a copy of the Quran in his hand. Look at this. That's a copy of the Quran in his hand.
Yeah. I saw that.
So this guy, Tam Khan, he says, free the Tates, mashallah, brother, at Cobra Tate, walking with the Holy Quran in his hand. Like it's a PR stunt. And he knows what he's doing. And idiots are so stupid. And guess who else is in there? Like, obviously, there are a lot of Muslims who are praising him. Guess who else is in there? This guy is a major disappointment.
Who?
Maajid Nawaz.
Are you serious?
He's saying, mashallah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Maajid Nawaz says, mashallah. He's gone fully loony.
He has lost it, man. This guy. He first went anti-vax. He went anti. I think he's just broken. I think his mind is just broken. Like, I think he's just a moron.
He's just fucked. You reckon he's fucked?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any form of like calculated, like this is how, like I don't think he's like this is how I manipulate the crowd. I think he's just like an idiot.
No, but he's going with a very popular narrative though, because a lot look, Taters are stupid. So this is a golden time to seek to get clout. Start promoting Andrew Tate, start peddling this Matrix narrative. You would gain a lot of young, teenage, stupid boys and men. You would gain a lot of subscribers and followers. So I'm just thinking, is that calculated in that sense? Because he's a total.
But at the price of killing people, because Maajid Nawaz is responsible for people dying. Like he spread anti-vax conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That gets people killed. Like he has people's lives on his hand. Like that, what form of how many social media followers is worth that? Like, do you think like?
Oh, no. I'd rather. Okay, no. I'm talking about this particular point that's seeking clout.
No, but
that-
but can we talk about Maajid Nawaz that you highlighted right now? Okay, because
Yeah.
I'd rather think I think it's a charitable. Like people think I'm insulting him when I'm saying he's stupid. Okay, that is a nice thing you could say to Maajid Nawaz, because if he's not stupid, then he's knowingly spreading information out there that is getting people killed. So assuming at this point that Maajid Nawaz is an idiot is a charitable take, because the alternative is a lot worse. Is somebody chasing clout, even if that comes at the expense of getting people killed. What a waste.
This whole thing. There's so many atheists who actually believe in these anti-vax conspiracy theories. Look at this. Sam Harris actually made a very good argument. He did a thought experiment. He said, imagine if instead of older people dying from COVID, we had young kids dying from COVID. We would have had a totally different outlook. Imagine, I'm repeating Sam Harris. Imagine if COVID actually was not this invisible virus. It was something like monkeypox. It made us ugly. Then it would have been right in our faces that this is happening. Like you would know immediately. None of this conspiracy that, it could be flu, it could be something else. Maybe it's not that. We would have had a totally different. Now it's like, it's not the old people are dying. Not everyone has to get vaccinated. But now we would say, no, everyone has to get vaccinated because my kid might die. Right? So we would have had a totally different outlook the way we've had, because obviously it did not stop the spreading of the virus. But imagine, it actually did do it. So these are some other arguments that they've built their entire argument of conspiracy around, which obviously we knew along the way people are going to make mistakes. We're going to learn along. By the way, this is a very stupid argument if you want to debunk the whole COVID conspiracy that the vaccines don't stop the spread or spread the infection. The vaccines don't stop the infection. But if you're not vaccinated, then you're more likely to be hospitalized, and then you're more likely to suck the resources. I remember at the peak of its infection rate in Australia, I think Australia went up to something like 95% of hospital what's the word? Occupancy.
Capacity.
Yeah, capacity. Yeah, so 95% of its capacity, and we were worried that are we going to have Italy and what happened in New York? Are we going to have that? But at the same time, people are getting inoculated. So I got COVID eventually after my 2 shots, and then I wasn't hospitalized. Yes, I was very sick, but I wasn't hospitalized, and I did not freaking die. This is anecdotal, but we've seen the charts how. The death of unvaccinated people. I think in 2021, 85% of the people who died from COVID were unvaccinated. Were unvaccinated people. How many of them were? How many of them were conspiracy theorists, or how many of them deliberately did not take the vaccines because they thought, I'm going to die? Yes, there have been myocarditis. What is that called? The heart condition from Pfizer or whatever. There are some side effects. We know that. Even I felt some heart pains at some point, but I've recovered entirely. Like no, I wouldn't even say that I was in pain like there was any damage per se. Like sometimes I felt a little pain. Maybe I lost a lot of weight as well because I was traveling, so it could have been that as well. I don't know, but I don't have any pain in my heart. So anyway, I'll just wrap it up. So these anti-vaccine conspiracy theories, I would make a general argument that no freaking government would want its citizens to die in mass numbers. It is bad for business. It's bad for economy. No government would want it. And independently, all these governments have come up with the idea. Yes, they keep quoting the Israeli report on the on the vaccines, but even that doesn't say that. Okay, you know what? Yeah, it recognized some side effects and blah blah blah. They were the first ones to recognize it, but they did not say that. Okay, you should not get vaccinated. So Yeah.
I need to address, this is so stupid. This is so dumb. Okay. Okay. We have a lot of anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theories in your live chat, Harris. Okay. And I was waiting to see what arguments do they have. And this is the level. This is
very quickly. He says, "Look at this conspiracy. Ask Bill Gates if he thinks vaccination is good to reduce people. I'm out. Why? Hang on. So why are we not dying then? We all got vaccinated. Why are we not dying?
These are so stupid, guys. You guys are so. You guys need to educate yourself, and you guys are at such a low level. You guys are at such a low level. I'm sorry to say that, but you cannot take yourself like nobody should be taking you seriously. Look at the level of argumentation here. Okay, he's saying my grandmother. This is his argument. This is his evidence for why this whole thing is a conspiracy. My grandmother have been surrounded with people with COVID, and she never caught it. She's healthy as a newborn with 105 years of life experience. Is this your study? Is this your sample? You are using a sample size of one person. You are not. I'm trying to be polite here. So I'm just gonna say you are not very smart. Okay, you're using one of the most obvious logical fallacies that is out there in the planet. Anybody that has spent any amount of time on any content on watching debates or watching arguments by people knows that this is not a line of reasoning that should be taken seriously. Have you not heard of the term anecdotal evidence? Do you not know that science coming up with conclusions is based on large samples of studies? That my grandma, your personal experience, or a sample size of one person does not prove anything. Even a sample size of 1,000 people should be observed in a controlled environment with a control group, while isolating many other external factors. This is how you come up with such stupid conclusions, because this is your methodology. You should be embarrassed. This is on the internet right now forever for everybody to see, and I am feeling secondhand embarrassment on behalf of you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, you should be ashamed that if this is your line of reasoning. Okay?
Look at it. Amelia's come out as well. Harris, you're young. The side effects will be much severe in an older person. Actually, no. The claim is that younger people are getting more side effects, and younger people are dying of heart attacks and all that. But having said that, though, again, the data is not in your favor. I would just go talk about Australia. 85% of Australians have had vaccines, 2 shots of vaccines, and I think 70% have had at least one, or something, 75%, something like a huge number. Why are we not dying? Why are we not dropping like flies? It's been more than a year. It's not like this was just like any other conspiracy theory. This was another mind-bogglingly stupid conspiracy theory. We had more people. I heard about more people dying during the days of COVID in Pakistan. Like a friend of a friend died. Someone died in someone's neighborhood. I heard about that, especially in Pakistan. Yeah. But I haven't heard anyone like these deaths have gone. They've disappeared. No one is just dying. People are not dying. Nothing happened. I mean, now we have data. Now it's been more than a year people have been vaccinated. This is embarrassing, Armin. What evidence do these people know? Again, I'll go back to Sam Harris's argument. If these people were getting these monkeypox if this virus was making us ugly, they would have taken it more seriously. If young kids had been dying, if the virus was dangerous for young kids rather than older people, they would have been more curious. They would have been more strident, or they would have been insisting on, hey, everyone should get inoculated. But then I argued against that. I think Sam Harris is underestimating human stupidity. People still would have come up with some conspiracy theories. People still would have said something like, "Oh no, the makeup industry, in case of if the virus made us ugly, the makeup industry did it so they could sell their beauty products, or the government introduced the virus so reduce the population by killing kids so they can open borders and let the migrants come into our beautiful countries." So people would still have come up with some conspiracy theories. But as I said, as a general rule of thumb, if you're not stupid, understand this. if people start dying, this is bad for the capitalist world. He's saying that, Bill Gates said that, population should be reduced. Yes, a lot of people think that. A lot of us think that, okay, what is the limit? 10 billion, 11 billion, 15 billion, where are we going to stop? Elon Musk has a different idea on that. But when we go towards welfare society, people will die out regardless. We don't need to achieve this. You think if this Thanos thing happened overnight, like if 50% of the people died, or there was this grand conspiracy, these people gave you vaccine, why haven't they died yet? Why have we not seen 20% of the world's population wiped out? Because definitely way more than 20% got vaccinated all across at least the developed world. Why are these people not died out? If, let's just say, even 5% of the world's population immediately died, the economy would be effed. The economy would be effed.
You're right. Governments right now want more population. They don't want less population. One, two. There will always be some side effects to almost everything that you do on such a mass scale. But the conspiracy theorists will always jump on those like small amount of side effects to just like make it. Yes, and actual side effects. Sometimes some there are some harm, but it's so minuscule compared to the unanimous agreement over the fact that the vaccines save the planet. It's the people who got vaccinated, the places where they had higher vaccines, the COVID stopped. Hospital capacities did not reach in places where more people vaccinated. So many people would have died if hospitals were maxed out on their capacities, not just from COVID, but for so many other things. They managed to delay their rate of infection and managed to keep the hospitals, available to more people. Do you know how many people would have died if the hospitals were filled up to max capacity? This is beyond reasonable doubt now. This is so much. You are like, oh, what about this? What about this? You are like, do you have any idea how full of crap you are to think that you have figured out something that the entirety of the scientific community have failed to recognize? You are so full of crap.
They do quote some random conspiracy theories scientists as well who actually say that. Some doctors who say that. But by the way, medical doctors are not scientists. Okay, they are also seeing amongst. They have a very limited data. So a medical doctor's opinion is it's the immunologist.
So you're right, Harris. First of all, you don't even know what authority to appeal to. You don't even know what the medical doctors are waiting for the scientists so that they appeal to them. It's not the medical doctors that come up with the data. There's medical research that the medical doctors appeal to. So even when you want to appeal to authority, you don't know what authority to appeal to. You're a moron. And also, you're like, you are not the authority. We didn't claim we are the authority. We're just telling you what the authority in the scientific community is telling you. You're the idiot who doesn't understand what authority to even appeal to. You're just like consuming like right-leaning conspiracy theorists, YouTubers or bloggers, and you're like, oh, you are not the authority. Well, I'm sorry, neither are you. At least we're appealing to the correct authority, unlike you who are appealing to the false authority. That when you are not an expert, what you have to become good at is to recognize who has the credentials for you to listen to. No, that's it.
Always look at the camera, though. Like it's more powerful. But Amelia's another comment. Amelia's saying, we still don't know the side effects that can affect generations. This is such a cop-out. Did you know what are the side effects? Like generations now? Like how many cars we drive, how much carbon dioxide of these fumes that come out of your exhaust, how much of that we put in the environment, what's happening to us, what kind of side effects is that going to have on our generation? No, we don't do that. We look at the data with the experiment. They try it. Yes, they trialed it. They released it after 9 or 10 months of trials or whatever. Yes, which is slightly shorter, but again, a lot more people would have died. So it was a desperate hour. We did it. Nothing happened. Look, we're fine. If you're going to say, hey, majority of the world's population, not even 1% has died from COVID vaccine, not even 1%. This is just your conspiracy theory that you said that, it wouldn't be categorized as blah, blah, blah. Again, if a huge number of people were dying, we would have known about it. Just like when people were dying from COVID, we knew it. We saw that hospitals were maxed out. Morgues were maxed out in New York, in Italy. They were maxed out in India. Packs of people were dying on the streets. It happened. Yes, there was a fake video as well in India, which was a gas leak or something. But still, people were dying. We took photos of Shamshan Ghats where they burned the dead. We saw photos. And so if all these people got vaccinated in huge numbers, why are morgues not full now? You know why? Because the normal amount of people that we have calculated that, okay, every day so and so many number of people died. That's what's happening. The death rate has gone back to normal. That's why people are not dying. But when something like a pandemic happens, an unusual number of people die. And that's what happened during COVID. And it's not happening.
By the way, they also keep moving the goalposts. First, they tell you like, oh, half the population of the world is going to die within 2 years, and that doesn't happen. Like, oh, what about like 10 years?
I remember that one.
They keep moving it.
My uncle was an anti-vaxxer, yeah. So my uncle said that, oh, I'm not going to get vaccinated. But then he couldn't make up his mind. He does respect me. He does think that I am a rational thinker. So he did ask me. He doesn't. He's a devout Muslim and all that. But whenever he wants a well thought out answer or something, he does consult with me. So I remember I was in Greece at that time, and he asked me, "Are you getting vaccinated?" I said, "Yeah, I've already been vaccinated twice now." He said, "I'm not getting it." And I heard about it before as well. Like, oh, I'm not going to get it. He was being an anti-vaxxer. I said, "Get it." He said, "No." And then he said, 2 years later, he peddled that. He said, "I've heard that we're going to die within 2 years." And then I said, okay, well, all of us are getting vaccinated, but then there were some problems as well. Like, like he had a kid and all that. So then one day he woke up, and then I'd been putting that in his ear, like, it's okay, nothing's going to happen. Like, again, I use these arguments. By the way, remember the German lady we went to? She also consulted with me, but I couldn't convince her to get vaccinated. But anyway, but listen to this story. So he came up with the answer. He said, okay, you know what? I'm getting vaccinated because everyone else in my family is vaccinated. If everyone does die after 2 years, what am I going to do all alone? So that was the reason to get vaccinated.
By the way, I know, Harris, you think I'm like crazy, but I'm going to say this, YouTube. Because you think like I'm being paranoid. But YouTube, we are not anti-vaccine. We're making we're just for the record. Yeah, of course. I know. We are
the tools of big pharma, Pfizer.
We're
We're the globalists.
We're the globalists. Yes. Okay, so just a few comments here. I need to respond to this, but we need to respond to these fast because we need to end the stream. Yeah. It says you are Space Potato is saying you are claiming to be an authority. We never once. You're such an idiot. You don't even listen to what we're saying. We didn't even once claim to be an authority. Just because we're telling you what the authority in the scientific field has said, what we are just telling you what they're saying. Where did we tell you that we're the authority? We're telling you what the scientists are saying. We're telling you what the people with the actual authority are saying. You moron. You're not even listening. You're not even responding to what we're saying. You can't even listen. You don't even know what you're responding to. Okay, so no, we're not. You're imagining.
FDA,
yeah.
Australia, each and every single country has an authority. We had our own trials. Every country did, and I think we're going to believe in them, just like you would believe in your local country's Federal Aviation Authority, in trusting that your pilot who's going to be flying your plane has done has gone through all the checks and balances and gone through proper training, and that's when we trust that. You're not going to go and interview your pilot and say, hey, by the way, do you know what this button does? Let me press this. No, you're going to trust the authority. You're going to say, okay, you're gonna have to trust the system, and that's what the system is. Nobody died. You're right. 2 years. It's almost going to be 2 years. We're not dropping dead. We're fine. Yeah.
You already said it. Okay, Darko is making fun of the people who are saying they unsubbed as if like, oh no, like I love it when people think like, oh, I unsubbed. Like, what do you want? Like, Harris, let's cry. Do you want to cry? Let's cry. You lost us. Okay. All right. Troel is saying these are good, important point. The reason the mRNA vaccines were finalized quickly because so many people are going, why did it happen so fast? Like they don't usually happen so fast. Like he's saying it's because of two things. decades of preceding research to massive public funding normally not available. All the other like vaccines that took much longer, if they had this much funding available to them so fast, it would have been happening a lot shorter. And also going into the future, you're going to see vaccines being produced a lot faster because of this whole one silver lining about this pandemic is that now we have a lot more resources and vaccine manufacturing centers and everything. So vaccine production is going to be a lot easier. This might have been even a blessing, this whole pandemic, because maybe we're going to get hit with a much more devastating virus in the future, and now we're ready because of all the infrastructure that we built because of this. And Terrell is also saying, so the testing and safety parts of its development were done quicker because the resources available to it were a lot larger, and so the sample sizes was larger as well. Yeah, because it was a pandemic, it was easier to test these things as well.
Very quickly, I'm going to address this and we're going to move on from that. Similar example, thalidomide was used to treat morning sickness during pregnancy, but later it was found to cause diabetes in the babies born to those taking the drug. With pregnant women, you can find a lot, and this is why even during the COVID days and the vaccination days, a lot of people were actually giving more side effect warnings to pregnant women. So when women are pregnant, yes, it's almost a default go-to position that it could have some sort of an effect on the unborn child. So that's not a good example. If you were to say that, and again, like we know that there would be some sort of side effects. There would be, but the question here is the side effect more dangerous than the disease itself? The side effects of getting radiotherapy. You kill your good cells along with the cancer cells as well, but people still do radiotherapy just to add a few more years to their life. To their lives. So yeah, that's always a question. But I think
okay. Let's end it with a joke. Allied Atheist Alliance is saying the vaccine made me like anime, and Prometheus is responding, this sole reason is enough for being pro-vaccine. I don't know. I was gonna say the opposite. I was like, you're gonna. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah.
So you're saying they're trying people and they're making frogs gay. That's what Alex Jones said. Trying new medicine. Yeah. Anyway. All right. I think we're done.
Anyways, if you hated our rants, please unlike the video. But if you like them, please like the video and subscribe and hit the bell notification on both of our channels, on Secular Jihadists and on Harry Sultan's channel. You don't need to support us financially, especially if you're struggling financially. But if you're not struggling financially, only if you're not struggling financially, if you're completely comfortable, that's the only time that you should consider supporting your favorite content creators. So if you are one of those people, consider becoming a YouTube member on Harry Sultan's channel, or a patron on Harry Sultan's Patreon, or a member on Secular Jihadists, YouTube member, or a patron, Secular Jihadists Patreon. Link to all of these is in the description. Also, if you don't like any of those, there's also the PayPal option. But again, if you're struggling financially, please don't donate to any of us, and just like the video and subscribe and leave a comment, and that helps our channel grow. And all of that is for free. All right. Anything else?
That's it. I'll see you next week,
Thank you, everybody.
guys.
Bye. Mwah.